Hi, guys. I hope you guys had an amazing time this weekend with Operation TBA. Shout out to Russo and Kaylee, man. Christine, Casey, everybody behind the scenes that made this possible. It's been fun. I have a lot of energy, okay? Because I drank a good portion of this monster and I did absolutely no talking. I thought I was going to be talking a lot more, but I was sitting there wired with nothing to do. So I looked a bit bored. But it was very informative. Like we ended the show with all of us, people need to get involved with the school board. The youth is where our focus should be. And I'm going to start this out with a quote from Mr. Obama himself. Okay. I specifically named this what I did because I'm going to show you a video I came across, and I'm going to be reacting to this again with conservative aunt, hopefully. Black folks, Black leaders, Black activists, Black educators, parents, our youth, they need us. Because right now they are drowning and struggling with everything going on around them. A lot of these kids have PTSD. They're having anger issues with no outlets. Virtually no outlet. So I'm going to read this quote, and this is from Mr. Obama himself. Wait a minute. Let me pull this up. I can't read and do all this stuff at once. Okay. I can multitask, but not that damn good. Okay. This is from Obama. He said, "We know this. This is true everywhere." And he's specifically talking about single parent homes. Half of all Black children live in single parent homes. This number has doubled since we were children. He's talking about himself and people in his generation. It's hard to read because it's in all caps. We know the statistics. Children who grow up in a home without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty, 5 times more likely to commit crimes, 20 times more likely to end up prison. They are more likely to have behavior problems, run away from home, become teenage parents because the father is not in the home. The foundations of our community are weaker because of this. These statistics and everything Obama said, and this was in, I want to say, let me go to the video. What year was this? I can't see the year. This was in 2008. So in 2008, Obama called it out, and he attributed a lot of what we see in our communities to the fatherlessness rate happening. I'm going to play the video because I don't see how people are not tying the violence and all the stuff that's going on in the inner city right now, how you are still labeling, the Black absent father a myth. It's being called a myth. Well, it happens in other communities too. You're absolutely right. It does. But we are a minority. We are the minority in this country. And still, over half of all Black kids grow up without a dad. Obama said it. I didn't. I don't even know if I shared the audio. I'm over here trying to be bad.
Too many fathers are MIA. Too many fathers are AWOL. Missing from too many lives and too many homes. They've abandoned their responsibilities. They're acting like boys instead of men. And the foundations of our family have suffered because of it. You and I know this is true everywhere, but nowhere is it more true than in the African American community. We know that more than half of all Black children live in single parent households. Half. A number that's doubled since we were children. We know the statistics that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime. They're 9 times more likely to drop out of school, 20 times more likely to end up in prison. They're more likely to have behavioral problems or run away from home or become teen parents because the father wasn't in the home. The foundations of our community and our country are weaker because of this. Think about it. How many times over the last year has this city lost a child at the hand of another child? How many times have our hearts stopped in the middle of the night with the sounds of gunshot or sirens? How many teenagers have we seen hanging out on street corners instead of hanging out in the classroom? How many are sitting languishing in prison when they should be working or at least looking for a job? How many in this generation are we willing to lose to poverty or violence or addiction?
I'm going to pause it there because he asked a very valid question. How many more Black young lives do we have to lose until you take it serious? I'm going to show you this video, and it gave me, it warmed my heart for one half of it, and it created this frustration, almost anger towards the older generation and the leaders in our community. What they're allowing BLM and all these people to paint in the minds of young Black youth, and how people like me, Cash, Candace Owens, Rob, Brandon Tatum, Will, all these Black conservatives, Kim Klacik, Darius Mayfield, Billy Prempe, we are all labeled sellouts and coons. But the real sellouts and coons are in our faces every day, and they praise them. I'm going to put this video on. And I have a question for LeBron. I have a question for Sean King. I have questions for Black Lives Matter, Jesse Jackson, Benjamin Crump, all the race hustlers, all the people who profit off the backs of Black, the white liberals that keep using pieces of legislation, using our skin color and pieces of legislation to push forth unconstitutional policy. I have a question for all of you. When do Black Lives Matter? And when are you going to stop repeating this insanity? Because to do the same thing over and over and over is insanity. Shout out to these cops. This is in Kansas City, Missouri. This completely destroys the media's narrative, Black Lives Matter's narrative. Everybody pushing this police brutality. Cops don't know how to deal with Black people, especially when Black people are armed. They don't take the time. They just shoot them. I'm about to shut you up.
Oh, he got to pop them niggas. Right, bro. He got to pop them niggas. Hey, chill, bro. Chill. Oh, he got to pop. Don't start pointing over here. Hey, somebody need to go. That nigga need to put it up and go. Damn, bitch ass nigga.
When do they matter? Do they only matter when they're shot by a white cop? I'm gonna keep playing this in the background so you guys can feel where I'm going. Do they only matter when they're killed by a white cop, or if a white person does something to them? It doesn't matter that these kids, like, yo, they're growing up in situations where they're traumatized, not only from their environments, but probably from their parents too. They're traumatized, they're angry. The first thing he went to go do is pull out a gun, and all the other guys around him were not backing down. When do they matter? Do they matter before a cop has to get to him or after? I really don't know what is it gonna take. When are we going? I'm literally I'm happy that police officers didn't shoot this young man. I'm happy that they waited and allowed him to put the gun down because obviously they realized he's full of adrenaline. He's about to fight. They don't even give a shit that police officers are there. And thank you for coming on, Shelly.
Hi, how are you? I can't.
Frustrated.
Same. I can't stay long because I'm working. So,
Okay.
so I'll
I'm
stay as
okay. I'm
long
gonna
as I
let you
can.
talk then. But my question, LeBron. When do Black Lives Matter? Because this young man wasn't shot by cops. Are we gonna blast this video everywhere, showing cops de-escalating? Whew. Well, what do you got first, Shelly? What do you think?
So, of course, they're not going to show that because that shows them doing what they're supposed to be doing. That shows a good outcome. They're only going to show when it shows a bad outcome or when they try to spin it to fit their narrative. I, I mean, well, I spoke to you briefly
Yeah.
earlier today, and same thing. Like I've been literally looking at what's happening. We talk all the time about kids and these kids that are dying and kids growing up angry and how it's basically it's a cycle, right? It continues and it goes on and on and on, and kids are hurt from their parents being hurt and their parents hurting them, et cetera, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera. It happens uh, in our cultures all the time, and we don't break the cycle. We continue to point the finger at everybody else except ourselves. Parents, I can't say it enough. Parents, it is time for you to be fucking parents. And people get divorced, and I understand that sometimes people fall out of love and maybe it wasn't the right situation. I get it, right? But at some point you still got to be a damn parent. Like,
Facts.
that's the part that's kind of pissing me off the most is you have bitter baby mamas, you have bitter baby daddies, and the one that you're affecting the most is your children. Like, you want to fight with each other constantly, don't let the father see the kid, don't let the mom see the kid, or
Mm-hmm.
you're cursing each other out and you're poisoning your children, and they grow up angry. Literally grow up angry. Or you got parents that just don't know how to be parents anymore.
Yep.
And guess what? Our kids are out there running around, acting a damn fool, looking for love in all the wrong places, winding up pregnant when they're young, winding up getting somebody pregnant, winding up in gangs. And I mean, this the crime that we have right now. If you look at the amount of young children, and I don't mean like little children, young kids under the age of 18 committing crimes, it's ridiculous. Like,
Yep.
people with police videos, they'll say, oh, this guy was just a little baby. Well, he might have been a baby, but guess what? He was doing adult things because he's on out there on his own, um doing for himself.
Yep.
So guess what they're going to do? They're going to do adult shit because they have zero adult supervision. Like, I'm literally yesterday I like went off. I was so pissed. I was literally pissed. I'm just sick of it. I'm really sick of it. I'm tired of people blaming the police. I'm tired of people blaming teachers. I'm tired of people pointing their finger at everybody else but themselves.
Yep. And
Like,
it's a harsh reality. I just played Obama.
I saw it.
Obama said every statistic that yields to these results. And it comes from dysfunctional parents and not really having a dad. The boys don't know how to be men anymore. You know why? Because they're not taught by their dads.
Well, I think, to be honest, some of their dads don't know how to freaking be men.
Exactly. And it's you know what, it's a constant state of the same cycle. We're raised by single parent homes. Over half the Black community is headed by a Black single woman. Period.
Or by a grandmother or an aunt, somebody that's not the parent.
This happened in Kansas City, Missouri. I thought it was Chicago, but it's Kansas City, Missouri. I'm gonna let you hop off because I know you got to go. Thank you for coming on. And yesterday, you're not alone in your frustration. I had my moment of frustration when that little girl got killed in the drive-through at McDonald's. Like, when is
Here in
enough
Chicago.
enough? Yes.
Yeah,
When is
here in
enough
Chicago.
ever going to be enough?
Exactly. We need to start looking at ourselves. We need to start looking at the people around us. We all have people like that in our family. No one is immune to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to start really looking around us. What are the real problems? We need to start holding people accountable. We need to stop pointing the fingers at everybody else and expecting everybody else to raise our kids.
Facts.
Like, I'm all for it takes a village, but not a village of idiots. For real.
I like that one. That was a mic drop.
Boom.
Be
Anyways,
safe.
I will. Thank you.
All
Because
right.
you know
I'll
they
talk
got
to
me
you later.
working. They got me working these crazy days.
Yeah, Chelly's on the military hours. She's on them crew chief hours.
I'm supposed to be off today,
Oh,
and I'm working
Lightfoot.
12 hours.
Hey, I'm trying to get an interview with Lightfoot. You know, because she only wants to talk to Black folks now.
Yeah, you're a person of color. Get her.
But be safe,
I will.
and we'll be talking to you.
Bye, you guys.
Oh, I'm frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I'm frustrated for the youth. I'm frustrated. Like Chelly, the parents, the leaders, and the fact that you know what's most infuriating? The fact that we keep collectively voting for the Democrat Party when Democrats are directly responsible for all these single parent homes that we're looking at. Yes, people have a responsibility, absolutely. But when you put people's back against the wall and you back them into a corner, and the only option some of these people had was to get on state assistance, and then that cycle continues because that's all we were taught. It's a generational curse, and they're exploiting the F out of it. But we keep voting for them. In case you haven't noticed, Black community, BLM, the Democrats are now, they're courting the immigrant vote. They don't give a crap about your vote anymore. They know they got you. I can give you a little bit, and then I'm just going to get in office and do whatever I want and never pay attention to you. All we hear about is these stupid COVID shots and immigrant children being reunited with their parents, as if American kids don't need just as much help. I'm showing this video. Pretty sure these are 17, 18-year-olds, maybe even younger than that out there. And they're all witnessing. It's to the point where he's about to get jumped. 1, 2. That's the cop right there. There's a third guy over there. These two dudes are attempting to jump him. He feels like he has to take out a gun to protect himself in front of the cop. In front of a cop. Where are black people scared to get up and go walk, go talk, go do anything? LeBron, Sean King, BLM, Hawk Newsom, all these people that push this agenda. Where are you? When do these Black Lives Matter? When? I'm just... Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And he's not going to. That's why they said, we'll talk to you once we win. They're not going to talk to Ice Cube. They're not interested in any type of progression for the black community because they don't give a crap. They don't care. And they prove it over and over. Wow. Biden's child credit, the tax credit money is coming. More reason not to take care of their children. This country's gone to shit. Whew. Strong words, but you know what? It is going to shit with this dude as a president. American children are struggling and the government doesn't care or don't care. Sorry. That's just I always do that. Jonathan, I think I wouldn't. Maybe. Sorry, I was reading a message. Certain Black Lives Matter. Only if you're killed by a white person. That's it. Anybody else, you get killed by somebody who looks just like you, they're like, you'll figure it out. It's all right. I'm trying to find this video I want to play. But I don't think I have it up. And you know what else is crazy? This girl literally said Black Lives Matter in that video. Did the Black Lives Matter to any of those black people there? The young black youth. Did lives matter then? The fact that he felt like he had to pull out a gun because two people were about to jump him, probably more. I don't for sure, if cops hadn't have shown up or been there when they were, I think he may have shot somebody. Do they matter to us? Do they really matter to Benjamin Crump, to BLM? Or are we just a dollar sign? You talk about this country being built off the backs of slaves. Well, you're destroying it off the backs of black people. We're not slaves anymore, but you're destroying a country for what reason? Other than what we all know, the New World Order. What? Why? So many cultures are fighting each other. You got blacks fighting whites. You got the Israelis fighting the Palestinians. You got gay people fighting straight people. Then you throw trans in there. Then they're after our kids. Then you got to deal with the education system. When is enough enough? When are people going to get fed up and tired? I'm really tired of talking about young black men dying. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of seeing a black man paraded across mainstream media dead. That's the only time they're on TV outside of dribbling, rapping on the mic. Shout out to King Randall for getting on all these media outlets. But let's be real. Every time there's a black man on TV, he's being paraded around to sensationalize his death. There's no such thing as solutions, only trade-offs. And the only trade-off there is for people to get their shit together. The only trade-off there is to be real with yourself. And more of us as black influencers, leaders, activists, like I said, it's time for us to really step up, especially young black conservatives with an audience. Love is correction. I love the black community. We got to do better. It's hard out here for some of us. I get it. But crying about, listen, this is what we do. I wrote it down. This is what we do. It's a cycle. March, protest, demand. Cry, vote Democrat. What's come out of that? Nothing. The only way that happens is if we step up and call stuff out. Stop. I get people that will ask me, well, why do you go so hard on artists like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion? Because they're not providing anything of substance. They're not. And it's okay that they make their music. Go ahead and do that. But we should also be allowed to say, yo, that's what you're doing is trash. And it is, because it's not producing anything productive. Nothing. It's a call to action is what this is. If LeBron truly wanted to see change, he would tell all those young Black men and women that follow him and look up to him to do better, to respect their parents, to not be running around in the streets. He would tell them to not fear cops, because if you're not doing anything, a cop has no reason to want to pull you out of the car, to want to search the car. He especially if you're there and you cooperate and you don't give him a hard time. You get your ticket and you leave, but he's not telling the Black youth that. He's telling them to be afraid. What's your opinion on Soulja Boy? I don't really pay attention to Soulja Boy. I don't know. Does he have something going on? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't pay attention to Soulja Boy. The last I heard of Soulja Boy was probably when I was in high school. Oh man. Cops harass people for no reason. But it's not just singular to Black folks, and it's not all cops. There are more good than bad, and those cops are bad cops. If you're being told to get on the ground, it's obviously for a reason. I can't out of all the incidents that we've seen on that's been on the national stage, at what point has any of those Black people that we've seen, when have they been targeted by police for doing absolutely nothing? When did a cop just stop them for being Black, or pull up on a scene just because they were Black and told them to get down? And everybody can answer. And while you're answering, I'm gonna pull this video up that I've been looking for. Now I remember what it was. He didn't get killed over an air freshener, and he wasn't Black. If you're talking about Dante Wright, he wasn't killed over an air freshener. Not at all. There's more than what the media puts on a TV screen. The two people hitting the dislike button, I don't care. Whoever it was. The military guy in the car. What are you saying, Nay? Are you saying that he was specifically stopped for being Black? We just had a cop on here. Shelly's been a cop for almost 20 years. Her and so many other cops have said several times, I don't know what color you are until I get to your window. And listen, I dropped the link in the comment section for people to come in and join, because I want to have these conversations. I've been harassed due to family members being a dumbass. I was polite and they left. I smoked my J in my pocket afterwards. I like that ending. And this is the issue. It's very difficult. We shouldn't walk into this with the intention of changing anybody. We should walk into conversations with the intention of having a conversation and hopefully planting a seed and bringing awareness to a situation. Like, I've seen cops harass a kid for selling water. um why, can I ask you a question? Why do you want to paint cops in a bad light? What do you benefit off of commenting all these negative things about cops? Ever since you've been on here, the only thing you've said about cops is cops do this wrong, cops do that wrong. What about this video that I just showed where cops didn't even shoot this young man? I'm going to play it again because maybe you missed it. They didn't shoot him. He had a gun out, all amped up, ready to fight the other people that were on the scene. And he was not shot. He went home at the end of the day. I don't understand.
Oh, he got the pop that nigga.
There's cops there, and he's got a gun out.
Hey, chill, bro. Chill.
This is not respecting a citizen? What is this?
Don't start pointing.
Hold on, let's run it back. How many cops are on the scene? How many? Look at this. 1, 2, 3. And one young man with a gun. Okay. Then you have 2 cops that are not disrespecting anybody there. It's actually more than that, because more of them pull up on a scene. And he has a gun. So tell me, where is the excessive force and the borderline abuse in this situation?
Don't start pointing over here.
We got to do better. This is why we're suffering as a community, man. Yeah, cops can't deal with escalated black men.
Hey, somebody need to go. That nigga
See what I
need to
mean?
go.
You can't even give him their credit. Yo, cops did a damn good job here. This young man went home alive. This destroys the narrative that you guys paint. You have to stop. Like, it needs to stop, man. I have no problem with holding cops accountable for stuff when they need to be held accountable for stuff. I am the first person to sit there and admit that. Well, when do citizens have to step up and act the par? Why is it always the cop? The cop, the cop, the cop. Nobody wants to say, thank you, officers. Good job. I gave her the link. If she wants to come on here, she can come on here. The link is posted. Look at this. He's not even being shot, and he's got a full-blown weapon out. The link, if you would love to come on here and carry a conversation, the link is in the description. It's in the the chat box, the comments. How does it destroy the narrative? So all these black people who have been killed mean nothing because of this one video. First of all, Jacob Blake is not dead. George Floyd is dead in part because of his own. Guns are not illegal in America. He is under the age, and it's probably not a legal gun. Nice try, though. Next. Who was it? George Floyd. Ahmaud Arbery knocked the police officer out and turned it. I mean, not Ahmaud Arbery. Rashard Brooks knocked out a police officer, took his taser, and then was about to use it on him. What other person do we have? Please let me know in the comment section, because I can't even keep track of how many incidents we've had that cops have been painted as unjustified when it was a justified shooting. Who just got shot? Andrew Brown. Are you serious? Where's that video at? Let me ask. I'm running the show by myself today, so it's a bit rough. It destroys the narrative that cops do not know how to de-escalate when it comes to either young black youth or black men. Every time there's you don't know how many times people are like, cops can never not shoot a black man. I ain't never seen a cop de-escalate a situation where a black man has a gun and he didn't shoot him. Well, here we go. Here we go. The girl with the knife. She was so innocent. She was about to stab somebody in the effing neck. Michael Brown attacked a police officer. You're only paying attention to one. Nobody here, and there's white, black people, Hispanics. Nobody here thinks that Derek Chauvin is innocent. So your argument with that is moot. It's done. The point is, Derek Chauvin is not the only factor in that case. George Floyd was high on every drug imaginable, which contributed to his death. Period. She's not going to come on here. And this is what they do. People don't deserve to die. Do you know what deserve means? And Russo, thank you for this. Deserve means to earn something that's warranted. It literally means to earn it. Nobody is saying she should die. Go ahead, pull it up for me. Matter of fact, I think I have it here in my files. You have got me worked up. Not even worked up, but you have got me inspired, because the media brainwashing bullshit that we talk about all the time is apparent. The lies that they keep spewing to young black youth, that you're a victim. Cops are racist. They're going to target you because you're black. And then I show a video where police officers don't shoot. They don't beat them up. They don't disrespect them. They de-escalate. Several people on the scene. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about George Floyd and Derek Chauvin, which he's a piece of shit cops. Who cares? He's a piece of crap cop and he should have never been on the force. But don't act like George Floyd didn't have a factor in his own death. Period. Oh, let's look at this. This is every drug in his system. Meth, fentanyl, cocaine, weed, caffeine. He was probably drinking alcohol. What is it going to take for black people to stop, man? Just, this is frustrating. No, he was compared to, Martin Luther King. No, he wasn't killed. He you know what he died from? Since if we really want to keep it a ban, excited delirium. That means when you take so many pills and you got so many drugs in your system, your body has nothing else to do but to shut all the way down. Unpopular truth. This cell phone video is a situation that happened in Kansas City, Missouri, where 3 guys are about to jump this young man with the gun here. If you can see him, he's backing up so he could put the gun down. And you know what? Police let him do so. Oh, here's Tiffany. Of course she's gonna come on here. I'm gonna get into this as well. But this video is police de-escalating a situation in which these 2 black ladies on here claims that cops aren't capable of doing, because there's a constant target painted on black men's backs from police officers, but not ourselves. Because before police officers showed up, 3 black men were about to fight each other, possibly shoot one another. But that doesn't matter. What matters is a cop showed up. And that's the only thing these people see. I'm so sick and tired and frustrated of this backwards ass mentality. You guys are contributing. You don't keep it real. You're not telling the youth what the real threat is out here. Painting cops as a bad person. Come on, bro. I'm sick of black folks doing that, man. I'm sick of the victim mentality. I'm tired of it. And I'm done sitting back not saying nothing anymore. I'm done with that. It's the silence that got us where we are today. Nobody wants to stand up. Nobody wants to lose their black card. That's what folks are afraid of. Kind of like Kodak Black. He was in jail for an extreme amount of years for minor offenses. We ain't talking about white people. You shouldn't be concerned with white people. You should be concerned with your own community. You know what he did? He went to jail. He was going to be in there for a long time. Of course, he requested a pardon from Donald J. Trump. It was looked at and it was granted. You know what he said always? Thank you. She's not on nobody's side. He said thank you. He had a dream about Trump. Thank you. And you know what Tiffany said? That just made me throw up in my mouth. So all the abortions don't make her want to throw up. All the black deaths that occur don't make her want to throw up. The fact that he was in jail in the first place and in jail for that many years doesn't make her want to throw up. But the fact that he said thank you to President Trump makes her want to puke. Not the HIV percentages. None of that. But because he thanked a man who's been active in the black community forever, you got a problem with it. Kwame Brown he's been on the same sentiments as me. The same sentiments as me. He's called out BLM. Thank the Lord. He's called out the NBA, the NFL, and the black commentators. Who said that? Anybody? Okay, let's take a poll. Who said all black people were thugs here? Go ahead. Don't worry, we'll wait. And the only thing she could do is bash him more. Kodak, his music is trash anyway. This is what black folks do to each other, man. And they get mad at me for saying the truth. So once again, who said all black people were thugs? I'm painting them to be degenerates and thugs. But I'm on this screen, black as shit. And none of these women will come on here and speak verbally with me, despite me dropping the link. Once again, boom. Have a constructive conversation. No, you only bash black people that like Trump. You call them sellouts and coons. But if we were to vote for, what's it called, Jim Crow Joe, oh, you'd be on my side. No problem, bro. Click the link, man. We're not talking about all race right now. We're talking about a specific race. We all know all races do it. Russo. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Tiffany. Tiffany knows who I'm talking about. Where is this Kwame Brown video, bro? Lord, help, help, help. Kodak Black. I don't like his music, but he's got some music out. I don't particularly enjoy it, but just like Cardi B and all these other artists that make doo-doo music, he's allowed to express himself however he feels. Oh, if Russo gets on here, Tiffany's going to be triggered. Here we go.
I just watched the All the Smoke podcast, right? And I heard Gilbert Arenas at No Chill Gil, and I heard fake ass gangster Stack 5 talking. So I think I'm gonna address you guys. Give me about 3 minutes. Give me 3-4 minutes. I gotta go speak to someone real politely, real quick. I'm gonna give you effeminate niggas what you've been asking. You niggas been talking a lot, saying a lot of things you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna address you directly at No Chill Gil and at Stack 5, fake Black Lives Matter activist ass nigga, and a gangbanger that niggas at the same time, allegedly. So you just confused. So I'm gonna help your little confused ass out. Just give me about 3-4 minutes. I'm about to speak real nicely to somebody real quick.
Facts. We raised 5K, man.
Y'all get on the internet.
Positivity,
things
productivity.
make no sense. I grew up in the era where you don't play with grown ass men. And I think both of you two gentlemen know personally that I'm a grown ass man. See, I don't pretend gang bang and I don't do none of that shit. But when I grew up, grown men were player, and you don't play with a grown ass man. And I ain't been this cute for this long and staying quiet and listening to you dumb motherfuckers talk that don't build nothing for no reason. So I'm gonna address you little feminine niggas today. Get ready. At No Chill Gil, at Stack Black Lives Matter activist, fake gangster, and I'm in Atlanta at the same time.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi.
Oh God, no, he didn't.
Hey man, everybody want attention. Say Kwame Brown, bro. I love you to death, man. I don't want no smoke with you. But you can call Charles Oakley anybody. I'm with Oakley every day. He know that ain't true. You know that ain't true. I wish you the best, little bro. Keep doing your thing, but we not gonna put you on. You had your opportunity when you was the #1 draft pick and later Ed. So don't make this personal, bro. 1 million people talk about you, but you want to come at us because you know we hot, because you know we can put you back on. That ain't gonna work. Keep doing your thing. We gonna do ours. I wish you much love, little bro. We don't want no smoke with you. Keep doing your thing. I'm in a different place. Trust me. But none of the stuff you said, you have no facts.
Notice he didn't respond to any of the fake BLM stuff. Just, oh, the only reason why you saying stuff back to us is because you're trying to get put on. No. What him and several other people in the Black community have done is come for him personally and his family members, throwing up his just stupid stuff that doesn't need to be thrown up. The fact that his dad went to jail for murder, and then they're talking shit about him. What? He said that was the least peaceful. He don't even dribble anymore. What is this? Ugh. I don't know. I put the link in the comment section, but nobody's willing to come on here and have these conversations. I don't spend my time bashing Black people. I don't spend my time calling Black folks thugs. Anybody that watches me, they know that. In fact, I stand up for the Black youth. I call out parents and I call out the Black activists that keep benefiting off of us. I'm tired of the police brutality narrative. I showed that video because there are hundreds of others like that don't get recorded. I'm tired of the racism talk when we treat our own like shit. I'm tired of the victim mentality when we are the most privileged Black folks walking the planet. We live in America. Our ancestors didn't have this mentality of, I'm not American. I'm not American. They didn't walk around saying that shit. You know what they did? They fought to be Americans, which they shouldn't have had to do in the first place, but they did. And they fought for everything that we have now. And the way that we show them we love them, and the way we show that we're appreciative of what they've done for us, is to continue to whine and attack each other. You came from being brutalized only to brutalize your own. Because you know what? If no cop across the nation, if no cop shot a Black person across the nation, guess what? We would still be destroying ourselves. That's a fact. 105 youth shot in Chicago, 16 of them dead, none of them from a cop. So if every cop related incident had it didn't include a Black person anymore, and cops never shot another Black person from this day forward, we would still be blowing them out of the water. So your narrative, this police bullshit, is whack and it's played out. It's conservatives like me that are stepping up to call y'all out on your bullshit. It's bullshit. You're repeating the same cycle over and over and over and expecting different results. That ain't how it works. I'm tired of talking about dead Black men. I'm tired of our children not being able to play outside where they live. Aren't you? Aren't you tired? Aren't you sick of seeing the media parade around dead Black men and paint them as the standard for who we are? I'm not Breonna Taylor. I'm not George Floyd. I don't live my life like that. Never. So don't compare me to them. Aren't you sick and tired of Joe Biden telling you how fucking stupid you are? How you don't know how to go get an ID? How you don't know how to use the internet? And how his kids having to integrate with you means we're in a racial jungle. Aren't you sick of that? Aren't you tired of these people using your Black skin to push forward pieces of policy that have absolutely nothing to do with you? Or am I just by myself in this? I'm not saying I'm by myself. I know there are other people that are sick and tired of this, but bro, aren't you tired? I am. There's no programs for these kids to have an outlet. Parents are just as immature as they are because they didn't have the proper parenting. I'm sick of it. I'm done being quiet, man. I'm done. And I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care. You don't like it? Don't watch me, because I'm always going to talk about this. I'm going to stand up for the Black youth if nobody else will. They are suffering while we're whining about police brutality and telling them they're not going to grow up to be anything because they're Black. That's bullshit, bro. I'm trying to share this link everywhere. Since somebody said it wasn't in the comment section, I'm going to make sure it's there. I can't pin it, but here it is. Click the link, man. I'm tired of having to do shows like this, and I'm tired of black folks that come in and try to attack me and try to say that I am. You're bashing black folks. Are you painting them as thugs? Are you doing this? You doing that? You come in the middle of a show, don't know me from Adam, and tell me what I'm doing. What are you doing? What have you used your platform for? Are you calling this out? I don't think so. So there's the link. How can you even get on here and ask why when nobody called him a thug, not once? You are the only person who came here with the thought process that black folks would even be called a thug. You. Nobody else here thinks of black people as thugs. You guys have that subconscious thought. I don't know why. It's rather annoying that anytime we want to hold them accountable, because it's love. It is love to tell somebody that's not the right thing to do, man. We got to get back on track and go here. I don't care. I don't think of black folks as thugs. And we all know that over half of the black community lives in the middle class. Hello. And half of us are also in poverty. Not even necessarily in poverty, but half of us are in these inner cities. Why are we going to continue to ignore them? It's virtually what you've been doing. But okay, listen. Everybody sees this comment, right? I'm going to play this video again because you're full of shit, bro. Black folks are so afraid of cops that they pull out guns in front of them and they fight in front of them. These young boys are not afraid of cops. If anything, he was afraid of the 3 people in front of them that was about to jump him. Show me where the fear is. If there's fear, it's because you have allowed white liberals and you have allowed yourselves to put that fear in the young black youth. Y'all did it, and you let the media do it. Where's the fear? Where's the fear? This is not even Chicago. And you're not answering my question. Where is the fear? Tiffany, you were talking. The link is in the comments. Matter of fact, I'm about to hit your inbox so you can't say you didn't get it. Where's the fear? All these black people there. But they're so scared that he pulled a gun out in front of all the police officers on the scene. Crazy how that works, right, guys? Insane. You could come on too, bro. I just saw you read it. Hop on with me. Sick of black folks, man. And not all of you, because I'm black too. I know. Imagine being in the South by yourself. I grew up in the South. North Carolina is the farthest place from being racist. Thank you, Casey. And if you want to click the link, man, you know what? I'm about to contact the OGs because this has got to stop, man. This has got to stop. Where's Jerome at? North Carolina is very racist. Hey, how many people from North Carolina here? Raise your hand right now. All right. I'm from North Carolina. I've been in Charlotte almost damn near 20 years. I've been living there. I grew up in Raleigh. Never experienced racism. I lived in Wake Forest. I lived damn near downtown Raleigh. Come on, bro. It's 2021. And we still, I'm going to keep this video running on purpose. Hey. Oh my God, Casey's here. I'm in the Midwest, Indiana. Shout out to you, Indiana. Shout out to Cash, man. Hashtag free Cash Kelly. Hashtag free Cash Kelly. Greenville. Is Greenville? And I've been to Greenville. I used to live probably like an hour to 30 minutes from Greenville. Not racist. What you got for us, Casey? What you think? I think you're muted.
Yeah. There we go. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
So with this video, I just barely saw this. I haven't seen this until you were pulling it up. So I'm curious. So it seems like these kids were having some beef in the middle of the street or off to the side. This kid with the red ass pants pulls out some sort of weapon. I assume it's a gun.
Yes, he had a gun.
Okay. So he has a gun. And now the officers are going after him to try to disable, like, hey, like, you're a threat. We need to stop this for the moment. Screw everybody else screaming onto the side. And what happened after this ends? Does the kid get shot?
No.
No? Okay. So the way this was handled especially by the officers was great. But by this kid, the mentality of the situation was very misled. He thinks that bringing a gun, I'm all strong and I'm all this. Like, no. One of the things that I will always say, I carry my concealed carry for other people more than myself. Because chances of me being in a situation is slim. But others, because there's a lot more around me anytime I go into public, is very likely. This kid just whips out a gun in the middle of the street. Like, dude, what do you expect to happen?
I'm on the verge of tears. You have no idea. I'm holding them back because I'm so sick of Black people with this mentality, because you're destroying the community. You're destroying the youth when you don't tell them the truth, bro. Stop telling these kids that they need to be afraid of cops.
Yeah.
Stop.
I want to hear what the wise man Jonathan has to say. He always has got good stuff.
Man, look, I was listening the whole time, man. I was watching this, and it's like, come on, man. Like, as a Black man, like I'm growing up in Indiana. It's like I didn't been in the hood area like all my life. It's like I know on any given day I'm more likely to be killed by somebody that looks exactly like me than I ever will being killed by any police officer. It's like I know that. Like, I don't know why as a community we don't fess up to that truth. It's like come on, man. You know more than likely this officer ain't finna do nothing to you. Most of the time a police officer shows up, they're showing up after the fact. They're showing up just to pick up the body. They're not showing up to create any more bodies. They're showing up to pick up the body and find out if anybody knows anything. And of course, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Nobody want to snitch. Nobody want to do that or whatever. So it's like it's another person that's dead that another Black life that they claim to care about, but when it come down to that, they ain't finna say nothing. It's like come on, we have to be realistic about this. And it's like people pretend like we saying like there are no bad cops. We know there are bad cops, but the overwhelming majority are very good cops. They're just trying to do what they always try to do a good job, go home safely. That's what cops try to do. It's like now for those bad cops, should they be held accountable? Of course. Nobody's saying they shouldn't be, but you're not going to pretend that you're not going to take the marginal example and apply it to everything. Like, I'm not going to let anybody do that. You're not going to take this example of this and then apply it to everything, because once you do that, then you can easily let somebody else have the example of, well, these couple of black folks here are they're in gang activity. They're selling drugs. They're doing this. So that must mean all of them, the overwhelming majority, must do this. And it's like, we know that's not the case, right? We know that black people are diverse, no matter what any presidential candidates, anybody might have said. We know that black people are diverse in their talents and their interests and everything like that. So if you wouldn't want something like that to be said about you, why would you say it about this group of people based off of what some cops who, for whatever reason, they're incompetent, or they just have their own bad intentions? Like, why would you try to apply that to all cops?
Bring your ass on this live. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jonathan. I love Jonathan, all right?
She ain't
But
finna come on this live.
you need to bring that ass on here. She said all cops.
Okay. Is this the same Tiffany we already talked to?
Yes.
Tiffany, come on. Like, let's talk.
And she's
again.
got the link in her inbox. So don't play me out, bro.
Like, seriously. They handle them differently. We talked about it, and we can go over it again. We can look at these situations. We can pull up others, and we can discuss it, because we'll break it down level by level. Like, this video is not a perfect example to when you're talking about cops, because did anybody die in this video? No. And it wasn't out of a cop. Chances are, if the cops weren't there, it would have been a black guy shooting him. Chances are, if a cop didn't show up when they did in that video, he would have been shot by some other gang member or thug.
No argument for that one. No argument for that.
Yeah, all cops. Yeah, that's like saying all black people ain't shit.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like, come on, like it's. I think you mentioned it earlier. It's like, if we took out every police officer, like, you ain't even got to take them out of the whole nation. Just take them out of black communities, predominantly black communities. You just take them out of there. Now imagine that the murder rate, the death rate would still be either the same or it's going to go higher.
Thank you.
It's not going to go down. Everybody know that. I don't know why they pretending like just in case, if we just remove the cops or all of this type of stuff, like it's going to change. If we took all the cops out the community, it would be the Wild West, and everybody know it, but nobody wants to say it. That sounds too much like accountability.
Right.
Hey, look. Hey, but still, police brutality is not okay. Since all cops don't know how to deal with black people, and I wish Chelly was on here. I swear, I wish she was on here. Since all cops can't do it, let's watch this.
He saved my daughter and my niece's lives.
And then if you ever need me, all you got to do is ask for me, right? 911. There you go. And that's the perfect number to have, too, isn't it?
In the town of South Hill.
Oh, yeah.
There's a police officer.
You like Mickey Mouse? Guess who mine is? Moana.
Who's making a name for himself.
What can I say except you're welcome? Like that. Ah!
Though it's not through his singing.
He just gets a swarm of kids. And we got to pick pumpkins.
You got to pick pumpkins?
It's through his interaction with children in the community.
It's just amazing, the bond that he has with the children, especially around here.
On Valentine's Day, Aisha Roper Boswell caught Corporal Fleming on camera playing.
It was a set of boys that were coloring, and there was a set of girls that were playing with some dolls and their accessories.
After spending a few minutes with each group, Fleming leaves. Aisha uploads a short video online that goes viral, but it's the playing that's paying off.
My daughter, my niece, and some of the other children here were afraid of cops.
But after this,
it's very important to see the connection he has, especially with these group of kids that I see every day. They need someone who they can feel is a superhero, and we locally call him the South Hill Batman.
Start. That's my Batmobile.
Like the Caped Crusader,
my job is here to protect and serve.
Officer Fleming believes,
for me to be a catalyst to young people, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, I feel like I can be a positive change.
Whether that's catching the bad guys or doing a cartwheel.
Remember, I'm always here, not just for the bad stuff, but for the good stuff, right?
It took less than
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So to look at two things here, like, oh, we have someone.
Mm-hmm. Tiffany, bring that ass on here, bro. And nobody's gonna attack Shantae. The fact that she's like, go on there, I got you. First of all, every one of us here are American. At the end of the day, I don't give a crap what color I am, and I don't care what color anybody else is. Second of all, I'm gonna extend her the same respect that I would want her to extend me. I've never brought anybody on my show to disrespect them unless they got out of pocket and called me a coon and whatever else. Then I'm going in on you, period, point blank. But don't give her the impression that she's going to come on here and get attacked. Don't do that, because nobody attacked you. And when people were talking crap on you in the comment section, I checked them as well. Just want to put that disclaimer out there. Don't do that. But welcome. Is it Shantae? I can't hear.
I don't attack people. So.
She's really faint.
Yeah, you're faint. Say that again.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
A little bit better. It's a little better. Can you do adjustments on your side, Suni?
Let me see. Let me see if I can mess with it. Edit mic settings. Where did it go? It won't let me.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you right quick, Jonathan. Okay, unmute yourself, because you muted yourself just now.
You talking to Shantae or Jonathan?
No, Shantae. And I can't unmute it because she's got it muted up. Okay, well, while she's figuring it out, hopefully she can come on here and talk.
No,
we have to do better as a community, and there's challenges, but you also need somebody telling you those challenges are there, but you can muster through them. If I only had somebody telling me, no, you can't do that. Nope, Suni, you can't do that. Or I didn't have, an example of somebody who made it out and were successful and still successful to this day, who knows where I would be.
Well, and Tiffany, I see your comment there. But here's the thing. You come into the comments, you completely disagree, and then you say you can't jump on, fine. But literally, this is the same conversation we had a few weeks ago. It's the same exact conversation. Nothing different. And so it'll be nice when we can have that conversation one day. And if you're saying that Shantae will come on here and represent your word, that's not right. Your word is separate than hers. You guys are separate people. You guys are separate people to where you have your own opinions.
Facts.
We can't say we're all the same. The world would be boring if we were all the same.
But you're back on here. Try to unmute yourself. See if I can hear you. Okay. Do you have a computer? That might work a little better for you if you have a computer.
I'm seeing mute go and go off real quick.
Yeah.
Are you guys battling with clicks or?
No, I'm not even touching it.
Okay.
She said we tried it didn't work.
Well,
Nay is hilarious.
She is. She did understand it at the end of the show, but seems like there's still more to it that still we need to clarify and talk about and understand and break down. Like, if that video doesn't show you cops are not against black people, I don't know what to tell you, because they didn't shoot him. Black guys didn't even shoot him.
No. And they weren't.
And he had a gun in his hand facing an officer. Well,
he didn't point it. He didn't point it. I'll give him that.
He's facing the officer with a gun in his hand. And so it's like, wow. But it's Denise, be nice. Tiffany just is saying she can't do it right now. So be it. Because Tiffany has come on before. She's not shy in that regard, but she's saying for some reason she can't do it. Shantae, I would like to hear from you for sure if we can work out these technical problems for sure.
Yeah,
but
and that's probably why cops didn't approach him like he was a threat, because they understood what they were walking up on.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, and yeah, it's if he was to ever lift up that gun, lift it up, he would have been immediately fired upon because it would be considered a threat, right? Just like we reviewed before, and it's
let's go.
Eric's amazing. But yeah, that when it comes to the culture, and we talk about this culture, like why is his gut instinct? I would love to hear what he was saying, because it seems like he was the antagonizer. He was starting the shit, and then he just pulls out his gun because he gets surrounded. It's like back in the day, you'd get jumped, and you would just deserve it. Don't talk shit, and then you think you're bad because you got a gun. Like, come on.
Those days of the fair ones is over, man. Like that's what people do now. They talk all that stuff, and then you get jumped. They're like, oh, I'm gonna pull out a gun. I'm gonna come back and do this, and I mean that's just what it is. That's the mentality. It's one of the many things now in our culture that we hold in such high regard. It's like no, if they do this, I'm gonna pull out my gun. So you go from case of fighting or whatever the term is, the legal term for it. You go from that to possibly catching a murder charge, or if the police show up, now you getting dragged out of there in the body bag, and now your mother got to be on TV talking about he was such a good boy. He didn't never get in trouble with anybody. He didn't do nothing to nobody.
He didn't have methanol.
You know how that story goes.
He didn't have meth and fentanyl in his system. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, it's called the didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. I dropped the link. If anybody wants to come on, you can come on. I welcome everybody. I like different perspectives. In fact, let me mute you. I reach out to liberals all the time. Yo, come talk to me.
Eric, I'll message it to you on Facebook.
She has to get her laptop. Okay, cool. Paste. I dropped the link for you, dude. I dropped it like 4 times. I'm not even, you know what? You're in timeout. I cannot take your comments anymore. They're irritating me. Cannot do it.
I think we just need to do another show with Tiffany and have a conversation.
You got that, pimp.
I'm not. You saying that because I'm white? No,
I'm saying you got that, pimp.
That's right. You're a colonizer. You're a colonizer.
Yeah, it's and guys, to be honest, Tiffany was very receptive when she was on the show. Like, and so text can be perceived very differently. And so be a little cautious in there and understanding, but we'll have a civil conversation one of these days and hash this out. Like, she's trying to claim everyone is handled different, like black people are handled differently from cops, and we did have that conversation a few weeks ago.
Because white people don't get fucked up either.
So we'll go over it again. We will.
Yeah,
for some reason, your comments aren't going into Facebook. That's weird.
I can't comment on Facebook. I'm in jail. I can't comment anywhere. I don't see the link. I'm gonna post it again. It's actually right there. All right. I pinned it on here, so it's pinned on mine. Now let me pin it on Cash's. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. 1, 2, 3.
I'm out of
We got some
Facebook.
feedback. Oh, that's Jonathan.
Yeah, that was me. I'm over here cooking and all that, you know.
What you cooking? Now I'm hungry.
You hungry? Oh, not because I started. Now you hungry. You know you was hungry beforehand.
I was. Ain't gonna lie. How can we unite? That's a good question. It's not about agreeing. And you know who taught me this? It's not about agreeing. It's about finding some common ground. That's all it is. Everybody wants to be able to live, take care of their kids, and do so in peace. That's it. Everybody wants fair treatment. Everybody wants that. But when it comes to stating facts and things that are actually happening, I'm not going to support you in your delusion.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it.
Well, and it's like the thing that we got to make sure we're all doing, like everybody's afraid to disagree in today's world. And if we can actually just learn to understand that people may have opposing views, cool, but let's bring some facts, have a solid conversation. If we have to agree to disagree and go our separate ways, so be it. But there is still a way to have a civil conversation, talk about it, and see if one of us is wrong. We could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt.
I dropped the link for you, man.
We'll be wrong.
I'm gonna put it in there again one more time. Here's the link. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody should be able to get it now.
Yeah.
By the way, just to celebrate for everyone, I'm out of Facebook jail.
Hey.
I can now do stuff.
Lucky you.
I know. You're like,
not.
F you. Get out of here.
All right, I've been downloading the extension, so I missed a little bit of this conversation, but I know what we were talking about a little bit here.
The link isn't in Cash Kelly's chat. I just posted it. I don't know why it's not there.
It's 100% there. I clicked on it to get here.
Oh.
You dropped it twice.
Yeah, I did. It's right there.
They're lying because they scared.
No, Nay is just making a comment. She's
the
not
link
scared.
isn't showing up. Tiffany, you got the link in your inbox. Stop playing me. I told you where it was. All you got to go. Yours is right there in your Instagram inbox. All you got to do is click on it.
I pulled up both videos and posted it myself.
Okay, cool.
What's up, Jonathan? I see you all the time in the comments, brother.
What's going on, man? Hey, I'm chilling. I'm living. Fighting this systemic oppression. The man got his foot on my neck. I'm trying to fight it.
Right? I like how
you
you
want
that's funny.
You want 40 acres and a mule? Or what would you like?
Man, what I need now, I need 80 acres. I need 6 mules, a house, possibly a chipmunk.
It won't let me. So it won't let me. Dang it! It won't let me post it in Cash's chat. It's not showing up at all.
Really? I commented it. It doesn't say it was removed. So can you not see my comment?
Here's what I'll do. I'll put it in the description. Oh, I can't because I'm not logged in. How am I gonna do it?
Why can't we put it in there? Hang on. Is it because it's detecting it as a URL?
Maybe it's spam. I don't know. Okay. While we figure that out, it is on Hot Mic, but they're not watching on Hot Mic. They're watching on other places.
It's on Cash's page right now, but if you type in Hot Mic, it's the first one that pops.
Yeah. You can do that, or you can have them. You can just pull it up and they can type it in off the screen.
I can do that. Okay. Or I can do this.
Jonathan wants a Corvette. I'm sure Jonathan does want a Corvette.
I can use a Corvette too. All this ancestral slavery.
Thank you, Pam.
The legacy of slavery.
That's the legacy.
Okay. So if you guys want to come in, it is in the description on this video. So you'll have to get out of the chat, go to the description, and the link is right there. I'm looking right at it. And I'm going to give this conversation context. So don't worry. Nobody's going to be lost. Nope. I think it's important. This is what Blake asked me a really good question today before we went live to finish our event we had. Shout out to you guys, everybody that donated. Eric on the screen, shout out to you all. You guys make this all possible. But Blake asked me, he was like, I want to help the Black community. what do I do? And you know what I had to tell him? There's nothing you can do. They're not going to listen to you. You're white. That's it. It's not going to be received well from you, especially from people who already think you're racist. They already have these thoughts about you. Uh-oh. It's so if you're on the live, you got to turn off the YouTube video because I can hear the background noise.
Okay.
There you go. He was just like, so there's nothing I could do. I'm like, bro, go to the black community and tell them you want to help. Try
Hello,
it.
everybody.
Hello, welcome to the stream.
How are y'all doing?
Nice.
Let me get this up.
Good.
I went live because I know we, especially me, as an influencer, all these other black influencers, everybody that has a platform, we need to do better by the youth. We have to do better by the youth because I was actually really hurt when I seen all these young men about to fight and then one of them pull out a gun. Because if cops wouldn't have been there, who knows what would have happened? And it would have been another black life lost that we probably wouldn't have heard jack squat about. Nothing. We have to do better. There's no reason that these young people should feel like they need to resort to violence. Okay, a lot of them are struggling with PTSD because of the trauma we received. I know I struggle with it. I came up in a single parent home. My dad wasn't in the picture. I'm the statistic that Obama talked about that I played in the beginning. And I wish I didn't take off the video because I would play it again. He talks about the statistics, but this is a video from.
I thought that was crazy.
Right? This is a video from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to let the guests go first and give their perspectives on it.
Oh, he got to pop that nigga. He got to pop that nigga. Hey, chill, bro. Chill.
Oops. I didn't mean to do that.
I was just going to call it out.
Wow. Reno, man. Strange place, strange name.
Hey, somebody need to go. That nigga need to put it up and go.
All right. This young man went home at the end of the day. Okay. He felt the need to defend himself. I'm not calling him a thug, nor do I think he's a thug. I think it's a sad situation when our young black men feel like they need to resort to this. I think it's even more sad that we won't stop this black police brutality shit because clearly cops know how to de-escalate when suspects are willing to what? What's the famous word here? Everybody knows. What have we been saying? What do people just need to do?
Comply.
Thank you.
I don't think that.
So he complied and he's alive.
Because people have the right to carry guns. And I mean, sometimes.
So Shanti, can I ask you a very pointed question?
Yeah.
When you went to school in the 12th grade and your teacher asked you to be quiet, what was the expectation that was set?
I know how to be quiet.
Okay, so the expectation was to comply, correct? Because those are classroom rules, and it creates a social environment that more people can participate, learn, and achieve in, correct?
Yes, it was also a adult to child relationship. So yeah, I do listen to my elders. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to set the stage because one of the things that irks me a lot is that although we're talking about it in the Black community right now in this particular specific issue, this is a societal issue, in my opinion, that follows suit across the board with non-compliance. We have problems with people in authority, and it creates a non-compliant situation. And ultimately, it starts, I think, at an early age. You have non-compliant kids who become non-compliant adults. I apologize to cut you off there. I just wanted to set the stage with, at some point in life, we do understand authority and we comply with it. And at some point that either changes or is a consistent theme for some people.
I agree that people should be compliant, but I feel like it's a level to it. Some of these situations is cops abusing their authority and they're like forcing their will onto people, and it be over like the smallest of issues, misdemeanors that will never garner you a death sentence, but people are like literally shooting people to death for non-compliance. That's crazy.
So in this video, sorry to take the conversation over here, guys, but in this video, what was the determining factor between a group of people being in a place they ought not be, saying and doing things they ought not be doing, and a situation, I'll just use myself, I get pulled over and I'm disrespectful to police? What is the difference here in your mind or anybody else's mind about what is happening in this video clip versus a person of any everyday average color or creed or anything when they're pulled over or talked to by a police officer? What's different?
I feel like the difference to me that I've noticed is that it's the value of life. Like I've come from a college town and I've seen people really overreact when it comes to like football games, and the cops treat them in a certain way because they value their lives. So when you go into like a black neighborhood and then the cops just automatically just resort to violence because they don't value those black kids' lives, they're like, oh, they're just thugs, or they're just this, or they're just that. Let me just shoot them off. That's the difference to me.
So would it shock the hell out of you if I told you I've been stopped at a felony stop at under 18 years old because they thought I had a gun in a car at 12 p.m. at night? Would that shock you in a very white town, in a very affluent white town? And you know how I got treated? I got thrown in the back of the cop car with the canines. They put guns to the back of my head. I got arrested. Yes, I went home. But here is the difference. I complied 100% of the time. Had I not complied, I guarantee you 100% I'd have gone home in a body bag.
Is that okay though? The way they treated you, are you okay with that? Is my question.
In fact, I am. And here's the reason why. When you have people out on the streets who are causing the type of mayhem for which they profiled my vehicle for, which was somebody with an armed weapon shooting at people's homes in the dead of night, unprovoked, somebody has to do something. Now, we can talk about vigilantism and people doing their part, right? Now, I don't agree with people going out and being crazy and chasing people down the street. It's how you get people into a bad situation that has a determined bad outcome. However, we also need to take a look at the other side of this, which is if people listen to the authority figure and do what they ask, they will almost always have a channel of recourse. You can take the L and go to jail, as Suni says, and you can go back and you can fight the police. But what you cannot do is take back words and actions that lead to escalation. Compliance is a must in this society to stay civil.
The cops aren't civil though. They're not choosing to be civil. They're choosing to
Based
throw
on
people
what metric?
to the ground. And I feel like it's just a violation of who I am as a human. I don't like that. I don't want to be like treated like scum and pushed to the ground and pushed to the car. I don't want to feel like that, you know? So, I mean, you could be fine with it, but I'm not okay with it. Nor do I want any of my family members to be treated like that. So that's where I'm coming from with it. I feel like some stuff could be handled more civilly. You know what I mean? Like, police don't have to do all that.
I think I can agree with you on that point. Escalation on any level is too much. But my point is simply just we have to put ourselves in a situation where we look in the mirror, right? We can't look at everything through the rosy lens of somebody else's perspective. And so I would just ask you, I don't know what your personal experiences are. If you have some that are indicative of an ongoing issue, then that would be what I would love to hear. But we don't. What I see is non-compliance, and that's the.
Well, when it comes to like the video, like I feel like the video is kind of crazy, but we gotta understand like our music kind of pushed those kids to do it. Like they pushed them to pick up guns. They pushed them to not talk things out. So when we push these images for our Black community, we can't like complain about what's happening to our Black youth. Like this is what we promote. This is what we like, the messages that we're pushing out to our kids. So yeah, they're going to act like that. And then we're using that to justify their murder. It's kind of like a circular type thing. Like one thing is causing another and another is causing the next. You feel me?
So when it comes to the Black youth killing each other, it's the music's fault. But when it comes to a Black person getting killed by a cop, it's a cop's fault.
Well, I feel like media plays a huge role because cops they don't really be connected to their community. So they only know Black people kind of through what they see on the TV. Like they be like, oh, well, I know what these thugs look like. This looks like one, like, and so they don't really understand what's going on. It could become a completely innocent situation. And then they come in there thinking that they know what's going on because they've seen it on a music video or they've seen it in a movie somewhere. And so they try to handle the situation as if it were that, and it could be completely innocent. And I feel like media does influence the kids as well to act violently.
Okay, so how many cops do you know personally?
3. And they
all she went out.
kind of racist too. They all be like joking in a very racist ass manner. So I don't really like that, but go ahead.
Okay, 3 cops, and out of those 3 cops, all of them treat Black people and target them a certain way. Okay, she's muted. I don't know what happened. I mean,
yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Here's the thing. We are blaming everything but the source. And Obama said it, I didn't. Single parent homes produce these statistics that we're seeing.
So what's the solution
all
for
of our
single
homes? What's the solution?
Yeah,
treating men like men. Treating men like men.
How do you treat men like men?
What do you mean? You raise them to be strong providers. You give them a moral code. You give them a foundation of God. We have to correct the youth. Right now, all that's going on in the street is gang activity. And I don't see not one, let me just say, on a national stage, I don't see not one big Black leader with a large platform telling these young men to put the guns down. I don't see Grandmaster Flash, whatever the hell his name is, marching his big ass army into these inner city communities and putting a stop to the gun violence and telling them they got better options. I see us constantly telling them that you're victims. I see parents constantly screwing us over because, like I said, I'm a statistic. I'm the stereotypical Black girl. Do you hear me? Anybody that knows me, my family that watches me, I know what I came from. And I learned that there were other options for me because somebody cared enough about me to take the time to actually show me. We don't have that. People are so ready to pass off their kids to the next person, to school, or the state needs to do this, or the school needs to do that. You don't teach your kids how to balance a checkbook. You don't teach them about credit. My mother didn't help me with scholarships. My mother didn't help me with school. She didn't help me with crap. Single parent homes are a contributing factor to what we're experiencing. We can't deny it.
I think one of the things that's important is we have to teach people it's okay to it's not submission to be compliant. There is a difference. If a cop comes to you and is asking you to be submissive, you ought to file a complaint. Use the proper legal channels. But there is a tremendous difference between compliance and submission, and a lot of people misinterpret those things. And what I was talking to earlier, my specific, I've had a few of those types of experiences. It is not an issue to be compliant to somebody who is trying to understand what seems to be a life and death situation. And when you have people making reports of people with guns and in the street wilding out, you have to take that kind of stuff seriously. And there is, like I said, a huge difference between being submissive or being in a place where you're being told to be submissive and just being compliant for the sake of good societal reasons. And I just want to make that point because I think a lot of people get those two things really twisted up. They think that if you're compliant, that you're being submissive, or vice versa. And it is neither. Those are two conflations of a word that can mean similar things, and that's it.
Absolutely. And encouraging other Black folks to join the force. And that, oh, we can't join the force, that we have Black cops. We have Black cops. So it's no, don't do that. It's not that we can't join the force. We're not pushing our children to take up these professions at all. The first thing they want to do is pick up a mic or dribble a ball.
Why would you generalize all Black people like that? A lot of Black people tell their kids to be doctors, lawyers, police officers, a lot. Like,
where did I generalize?
Nobody is telling their kids to be thugs. Nobody.
Where did I generalize? That's not true. We see
Who
that
was
on
telling
we
their
see
kids to be
that all the
basketball
time.
players? Everybody's not saying that.
Who said everybody?
My mother told me to be a nurse. Nobody's telling their kids to be basketball players and rap artists. Nobody's saying that.
When you turn on your TV, what role model do you see? Okay, what Black role models are out there?
Who is funding these artists? White people
No.
are funding
You
these
have to
artists.
answer my question. We're having a conversation. So what are our Black role models?
I feel like Kwame Brown is stepping up as a Black role model right now, and I appreciate his message. I really do. He's telling Black people, Black youth, to be tech people, coders, to own land, stuff like that, which are all positive messages.
Okay, and what is he doing? What is he?
Like, nobody's telling people to be basketball players. That was his job. He got in, he got out. Is it possible to do a job?
He was a basketball
not live
player.
their lives to have careers?
I don't know if you can hear me. And my question is really not being answered. Where are our role models?
I don't feel like we have any significant Black role models.
So you're proving my point.
I said Kwame Brown has stepped up as a significant Black role model as of late.
Okay. I never said all. Clearly I'm Black. So I just really would like for that to stop being used. Nobody's generalizing. We're talking about a specific group. I also acknowledge that 50% of us come from the middle class home. I said that. 50%. But 50% of us don't as well. And we can't ignore that. So what role models do we have that are telling the young Black youth that don't have a good mom or a good father to direct them on the right path? What are they being told and what are they aspiring to be? Because it's not lawyers, it's not doctors, it's not anything worth any of substance. It's not. These same young people that are at risk are the first people to pick up a gun. They don't have role models.
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Welcome to the stream, Mike. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, bro.
Good. I honestly what do you say? I'm not saying anything that's wrong. I'm not even condemning Black folks. I'm calling out an issue that we refuse to acknowledge. We don't have any Black role models. The only role models that we have are somebody that dribbles a ball and picks up a mic. You know who says that in every rap? J. Cole. He's the first rapper to call it out. And these dumbass rappers that we got.
Well, and then look at in leadership in a lot of places. We just did an awesome show this weekend. A whole bunch of Black people that don't get any media attention, don't get any type of attention from anybody to try to do better in their communities. And so, I'm sorry?
I said, what about Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Claude Anderson? These could all be Black leaders. Yeah.
don't know enough about them, but I can name off some others that are being silenced because they have different views than the Black community. You have what's his name? Ben Carson being silenced. You have Alan West kind of being silenced and not getting the attention. And this is from a political standpoint because they don't agree. And so the community is going after them and saying, no, you it's not real. Like, and saying you guys are lying. The thing is that Sunni is saying, and when we break it down and look at this from a logical scenario here, is they don't have role models because of the culture that's being promoted. The music they listen to is constantly pushing the same agenda. The BET channels, the certain media that they all have on TV that they all watch pushes the same agenda. And so it creates this narrative and this mindset that people are oppressed and people are having these problems. And really, if you look at the other scenario, the people that actually have been successful in the Black community and still take care of people are usually not people dribbling the ball, are usually the people that are not rappers. They're all selfish. They're in it for them and their money. Very few of them give up, but they donate a lot because of tax reasons. And so when you start looking at the people that actually do things, King Randall is another one. I should have mentioned his name. He is killing it, and he is 21 years old. I wish I had his knowledge when I was 21 years old. Why aren't people talking about that? And why aren't people promoting those things in their communities to help get people to have the knowledge and expertise to move forward? That's the stuff that we're talking about.
Exactly. And those type of things are kind of lost on our community, and we don't acknowledge it. Like, I think a basic thing is that we don't even acknowledge the lack of basic moral standards and basic respect in our community. It's like those things go a long way. When you teach your children just the basic thing of respect, that basic concept, it goes a long way. And again, it circles back around to what we're talking about with dealing with police. When you deal with people in a respectful manner, you're more times than likely you're going to get a better outcome than if you are disrespectful, disorderly, causing all those type of issues. It's going to create more issues for you than if you could just say, you know what, even if I feel like I may be being treated unfairly, I'm going to be respectful. I have the choice to be respectful and handle myself a certain way and handle whatever matter. If I feel like I've been wronged, or I feel like this should have been handled a different way, I can handle that later on. As long as I remain respectful, as long as I keep my composure, I can handle things a different way. But when it goes to I'm going to be disrespectful, I'm going to not compliant, I'm going to be this and that, we know what the outcome can be for the most part. We know what that can lead to when you're not compliant. Whether it doesn't matter whether it's boys or girls. When you have non-compliant, disrespectful children, and that isn't checked at the very beginning, you're going to get disrespectful and disorderly adults, and usually they're going to end up in one or two places, and we already know what those places are.
Can I say something?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so we're using that same logic, right? Why can't cops use that logic? You feel me? If we know that you can handle more things in a calm, civilized manner, right? You get more done. People will be more compliant if you're calm and civilized and treat them with respect, right? So why are cops choosing to be aggressive? Why are they pushing people to their ground? Why are they putting guns in people's face? Like, this doesn't help people want to be compliant.
I think what you're doing is you're hearing the echo chamber right now. It's real loud, and that's what you see on TV a lot. But that is not the majority, or even it's not even a slim minority of the amount of interactions that these police have, that they end up like that. That is absolutely an echo chamber of your large media conglomerates throwing this on every local and national television show they can, showing the same picture 3,000 times in an hour in order to hype that narrative. And we have to talk about the narrative because there is an important part of the logic that follows. When you have people who say, I want to resist, that is fine. People should be resistant in this country. There is an inherent individual freedom that comes with being an American, and part of that is resisting to some degree. But it should be done in the appropriate channels. And I think that's where we've lost the conversation. And sometimes is we talk often about, well, it's this person or these group of people behaving in this way. But it is oftentimes the minority in situations that let that go. And we have to start framing the narrative in truth and reality, which is that is not the predominant majority of opportunities with interactions with police. In fact, one of the things I'll state unequivocally is one of the hardest things to do is know you have the power to interrupt and be a problem for somebody and choose not to do it for the sake of the outcome being civil. And that is something we have lost in our society. It is so important to remember that what you are seeing and what you are hearing is an echo chamber that has been built to go forever.
Yes.
Tiffany's on here, so I'm going to let her say her piece. And then we got some more people up here.
Sorry, I think I jumped over Jonathan there. My bad.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yo.
Okay. So, okay, my thing is, sorry I couldn't go live earlier, but my thing is,
I'm going to mute everybody.
I'm not saying that I don't like cops. I'm not for cops. At the end of the day, we all need the cops. One way or another, the cops need to be more vigilant in the neighborhoods. My only issue is if a cop, any cop, stops a black person and a white person at the same time, the black person will be treated differently. The cop's mindset will be different than stopping a white person. That is what I am saying. I'm not saying I don't like cops and we don't need cops. Because listen, if someone breaks into my house, of course, I'm going to call the cops. So yes, we all need the cops. No one is denying that. But the way that they treat black and brown people is different. And I don't know why this is such a disagreement. A cop will treat and approach a black person or a black community differently than they would treat a white person or a predominantly white neighborhood.
Can I ask
love
you
how
to
you know
cite
that
some
and you're not a
sources?
cop.
Yeah, can we get some information around where that formulation of an opinion is? Like, and I call that an opinion for one reason, and
Well,
it's
we all have
because
opinions at the end of the day because none of us are cops, none of us are politicians, no one are professionals at this. These are all of our opinions.
I have an example. So I called the cops because somebody had like attacked my door or whatnot, and it was like my neighbor and with some crazy stuff. It had nothing to do with me. I called the cops and they treated me as if I was the criminal. They was like, I had no reason to be like emotional about the situation. Even though I was scared for my life, they were like, you need to remain calm. Like, so it's like, I just felt like I wasn't treated with respect.
so anecdotal evidence is I'm not discounting. I'm just saying it's anecdotal, right? You've had an interaction that led you to believe in one way or another, right?
I mean, if you want to say that, but it happened. I think all
Listen,
of our experiences are kind of anecdotal.
Anecdotal or not, but then we have statistics that actually do speak to a story that is important to recognize. So there's anecdotal evidence. We can all agree that exists. I think in the ether, if you will, it's kind of a long understood thought that police have authority, and we generally speaking don't like that. Now, what I hear you saying is, in your experience, that's been all pointed at aggression towards you. And that's where it is. That becomes very anecdotal. I don't know what happened with that situation. But police have to always operate under the assumption that whoever they're speaking with could always change the way they act in 10 seconds. And so that I just want to make that, a point of the conversation is to know that these police officers, they're interacting with you 9 times out of 10 based on little information that they've received from their dispatch unit. So if you called in and you were on the phone, sounded worked up, they're going to want to interact with you differently than somebody who calls in and has a docile tone and says, hey, there's something going on in the neighborhood, can you send out a unit? If you're calling and saying, hey, my house is getting broken into, and you're scared and you're nervous, the police are going to come with a different attitude. And I just want to point out that anecdotal evidence is important, but it does not tell the story of everyday life. And we have statistics that do tell that story to, I think, a better degree. And so anecdotal evidence becomes something that it's hard to relate to on every level, if that makes sense. So it's not that it's not real, it's just that it's harder to relate to, since we've all had tough experiences, and yours is not the only situation. And it's not unique in the sense that you were treated bad. I've had cops treat me bad, not just in 1 or 2 situations, but a lot. I think we could all say that, but that doesn't mean there's anecdotal evidence to support racism in the police officer ranks.
No, and Suni's got it up on the screen. She
put that up on purpose.
2 different interactions. That
No, Casey, let me ask you a question. Sorry, Casey, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. But that first one with that was a white man on the ground, correct?
Yes.
If that was a black man doing that exact same thing, would they treat him that way?
They knelt on his neck. Fuck, dude.
I'm not saying they don't treat white people bad, but
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
He's dead. What else do we have to cover? Like, he's dead because of situations. The other person, that last video that was pulled up, Ryan Whitaker, he's dead because he opened the door. Dead.
And I think we can all agree that police don't need to be taking lives. That's something I think everybody can agree on, was less police force that ends in the loss of life would be a tremendous help across the board. But I think that we do miss the mark when we start, using identity politics. Let's just call it what it is, to make the case that it's worse for one group than it is for another. I would argue that this is probably way closer to an income conversation than it is ever going to be to a racial conversation. You go to the bad side of town in any city, and people are getting treated the same by the police.
And that's the point that we're trying to make here, is the media is pointing out everyone that has been at the hands of an officer that's died. And what was it, 9 in 2020? Is that what the numbers were?
2020 was 14.
Was it 14? 14. And that's what, 40 white people over plus 40 plus? I thought it was like 44 or something. And the thing that we got to look at is when you try to claim the treatment and try to say these things, and it's not fair due to one race. This is another video. Like, this video was even before both of those two, if I remember correctly. He's already complying. And you can clearly see he's white. So yes, officers do need more training. Officers do need to work on that, need to have that stuff. But we can't say this is about race anymore. You just can't. There's no logical facts and no data to back it. The media and everything we're told about on the TV and on radio, and little baby doing his little thing, burning down Wendy's and stuff like that during his concert, that is where we need to fix it. Then we also, at the same time, we need to fix it in our households, because these kids are misled. And it could be the same with these white kids. Why are the cops being called? We need to look at those situations and fix our households and get those together and fixed to be able to fix society. That is where we're talking about. This is not a race issue.
I feel like everybody should just police themselves. Like, black people should police black people, Hispanic people should police, like, just police your culture. We're one that you're familiar with,
What you're talking about is segregation, and that's a ridiculous
Let
argument.
it be. Just let it be
That's
then.
ridiculous.
Because I
That's
mean,
crazy as hell.
it's a
We're gonna all
cultural
go to separate-
difference. What may go on in
Crazy,
white
man.
people's society does not go on in black people's society.
Black culture is not our culture. All right. That we don't all subscribe to that shit, bro. That
You
is
don't have
not
to
our
subscribe.
culture. We're
You
not
don't have to
all the
subscribe.
same. And I don't want to be policed by other black people. I want to be
But
policed
don't
by
move to a white
Americans.
area and go get policed by
But I'm
white
gonna
people.
move to, what do you mean a white
I'm saying you're in
area?
a black community. I think they should be policed by black people.
So
Okay.
if that's the case, then don't ever call the cops.
I have a
Because
solution.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a white cop.
No, here's the solution. You guys go create your own country.
Thank you. Bye.
This is America, and this is America's laws and what they're abiding by, and it's been like that since our country was founded. We have changed them. We have added amendments. We have given people their rights, and it has expanded over the years. If you want different rules, go to another country. I guarantee you. Go to Iraq. Go to Iraq and see if you get treated fairly.
Why are we comparing ourselves to Iraq? We don't want.
I'm just saying.
We just want people to understand
another
cultural
country.
context.
How is it cultural when every black person doesn't act the same?
Who said they do? I'm saying if you're in a black community, the people that come from that black community should be policing that community. People, you
So
understand?
let me help frame what you're saying right now. What you're saying is you want to be only policed by people of similar melanin or descent. I'm not sure.
Understand the culture. People that understand what's going on within that community.
So
If
that's
you
like saying
don't even live
Eminem
around the
doesn't
people, you shouldn't
understand
be
rap
policing.
culture.
Hold
It's just
on.
not true. You can say it, but it doesn't mean that it's real. There's a difference of opinion here, and it's based not in a place of logic, but a feeling of frustration with somebody who you don't interact with. Like that's where I guess I lose track here. Is you're mad. And you're making the argument that you only want to be policed by people who understand your culture. How can anybody understand your culture if you shut everyone out from it and say, let's segregate the cultures? That makes no damn sense.
Aren't we kind of segregated for the most part anyway? White people stay around white people, black people stay around black people. That's kind of how it works now.
No, that is just how people gather.
Hold on.
But you
Hold
have the
on.
same
I want Kathy to talk because Kathy has the same background as so many other people in our community. So go ahead and talk.
I lived in the system. I was put up when I was 1.5 years old. I grew up in the projects in New Orleans. So would it be okay if I police your precinct, your area? Because I know how it is being in that area. Is that okay? You want segregation, but segregation doesn't work. I have a lot of black friends. A lot of black friends has my back. They understand it will never work segregating.
I don't support segregation. I think people should stick to their own kind though. I just feel like you don't have to hate anybody to stick with your people. Like,
but you don't
have to hate anyone. Be like, no, you're over there. You're just over there.
Racist. You're really
racist. I'm just saying you should stick to your own kind. If you care about your own kind more than other kinds,
I care
just
about
stick to your own kind.
I care about people. Where's the humanity?
How am I preaching against humanity? I said people shouldn't kill each other. People shouldn't harm each other.
Their own kind.
People shouldn't push people to the ground and force them to comply. I said all this. This is humane treatment.
Dude, it is humane.
It happens. You said why?
Sometimes.
We cannot overspeak each other. That's not how conversations go. I'm going to unmute everybody, but we have to be willing to listen to each other. What you said, bro, if a white person came up in here and said, you stick to your own kind, everybody, this video would go fucking viral.
I'll say it. Is that what we need to do?
Look.
It might be a solution.
If that's the case,
be a solution.
If that was a solution, we wouldn't be here today. Our ancestors fought so that we didn't have to just stay amongst ourselves. I don't want to be around a bunch of niggas. I'm sorry.
Don't be. We'll move to white. Nobody's telling
No,
you
I'm
where to
gonna
live,
move to an
baby.
area where black
Nobody's
people have
telling you where to
sense.
live. Nobody's telling you what community to go to. Nobody's telling you have the freedom to choose all of this. You feel me? But predominantly black communities should be policed by black people. And vice versa. Predominantly white communities should be policed by white people.
Man, our ancestors are rolling in their grave. Martin Luther
Why
King
would
is
they
rolling in his
roll? I
grave,
mean, they
bro.
wanted to have their own stuff.
No, he fought against that. Don't you dare disrespect
Integration did
Martin
not
Luther
help
King like
black people
that.
at all. It did not help black people in any type of way. So let's not go there.
Wow.
It didn't. It just gave
Wow.
white
How
people
old are you?
ownership and made
How old
us
are you?
work for them. That's
How
all
old are you?
integration did.
How
I'm
old are you?
32. What did integration do for you?
What you mean? My
What
uncle's
did
a
it do?
millionaire.
What did
My
it do
uncle's
for
a
you?
millionaire.
What are you talking about you? What did it do for you?
What you mean? That trickles down to me. That's generational wealth. He gave me the game. He taught me how to not be a victim. He taught me to grow up and make something of myself. And that everybody is included. We have to have unity. That's what Martin Luther King fought for. Malcolm X took his pilgrimage and came back with a completely different mindset. He even
Malcolm X
wanted
was
to
a
work with black
separatist.
people. I can't talk if you're talking. And he was not a separatist. He was a
What?
black nationalist. There's a difference.
Or whatever you want to call it. He didn't.
Thank you. I haven't been rude to anybody on here. But I'm not, this is a mentality that I'm fighting against. And I get called a sellout and a fucking coon, bro.
Nobody called
I
you
get
that.
called that. I didn't say you. And I'm not talking about you. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on just I know, like we're talking about, like, well, we should police our own communities and things like that. And at one time, like we did a lot of that. But if we're being honest in our communities now, we know, like why a bunch of us aren't stepping up to do that, because we know that the instant we do that, we instantly become the enemy to our own community, the same community that asks us to. We need to police ourselves. We need to look after ourselves and protect ourselves. We know we get looked at as the enemy if we go into that position, because it's like no matter what, you're on their side now. You're a part of that system. You're a part of the problem. You're going to continue to be an oppressive force or whatever it may be. That's the real honest answer about it. Like, that's why you don't see a lot of us. The ones that do, and they continue in that type of career, they have to have a strong mindset to stay in that career, because for most of their career, they're going to be looked at by family members, friends, everybody like they're a sellout, like they're a problem, like they've betrayed their people, all this other kind of stuff. It's something that another thing that we don't talk about in our community. It's like it doesn't matter how much we try to be like, well, if we do this, we can bring these people from our community because they understand our culture better. It's not gonna fix the problem, because the moment they try to make correction in that community, it's like, see, like, you're just a part of the problem. You're just like the rest of them, and you're just this, that, and the other. It's like it's not going to be a satisfactory thing. Like, in policing the community, you have to have people not just who are willing to understand that community, but they are just willing to protect. A lot of our people, as much as they talk about our community needs protection and needs this, that, and the other, they're not willing to do it. They want to complain about anybody else who does it. They want to complain about what they do, and, well, I don't like how they handled this, and I don't like how they handled this particular situation, and but they're not going to step up for that. They're not going to step into that person's shoes and secure their community like they say they want it to be secured. And the other part we have to understand is this. And looking at how police officers handle situations, whether somebody gets pushed on the ground, whether somebody gets tased, whatever it may be, you have to look at the totality of it all. You have to understand what all came with that interaction, like what the circumstances are, because that police officer comes into a situation where he may have very little information. That police officer may come into a situation where he's calm, and that person escalates, it may come into a situation where it's already a lot of tension, and he has to act accordingly. And most importantly, he has to act in real time, in seconds. So every situation is not going to be handled the same, because no situation is the same. This person that may have ended up dead in one situation, whereas another person ended up alive and just went to jail, is because of everything that took place in that situation. All the things that not only just the officer, what they did, but what the person involved did in it as well. So I mean, we if we want to talk about that, like we have to be honest about the whole totality of it. We can't just say, well, I don't like how this officer handled this, and I don't like how that looks, when you don't understand the totality of it. You have to understand all the circumstances that play a part of that situation. So I mean, we have to have that honest conversation. Now, if a police officer is doing wrong, I understand that they should be held accountable. But we have to look at it for all the circumstances involved, and not be quick to say, well, it's because they look at our skin, and they look at, oh, well, they're from this black community, or from this Hispanic community, or whatever the case may be, and they're just going to treat us differently. No, they're going into it. They get a call for whatever it may be, and they have to act accordingly. And depending on how you act in the situation is going to determine how they are going to respond for the most part. So we have to have that honest conversation about things. We can't just relegate it to, it's because they just look at us differently. It's because of some inherent evil or some inherent racism that they have.
I'm flabbergasted right now. I'm flabbergasted. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. Like I said, I had my friend over yesterday for our grandson's birthday party, explaining it to them. They understand. But the thing that she brought up to me, you are not the typical white people that she was referring to Republicans is racist. I'm a conservative, but I believe all lives has the right to live their life according to the law. It doesn't matter if you're black, Asian, all other type of race out there. Everybody's got that right to live. However, I'm going to call a duck a duck. If you're a criminal and doing criminal acts and you don't want to comply, then yes, the cops are not going to sweet talk you on getting into their car. It's not going to happen. My older two kids got into jail for their own actions. I don't stand up for criminals. My kids knew if they go to jail, their fault. I'm not going to have their backs. I'll be there. I'll support them, but I'm not going to get them out of jail because they're the ones that did the criminal act. Sorry, I'm not that type of parent that's going to say, oh, all is well. You're going to be okay. We're going to get you out. No, do your time. And people need to start doing that.
Oh man. Where all the Africans that come here, okay, they're governed by themselves, amongst themselves, and they're running from themselves. If America is inherently racist, why are these people coming here in droves? The brown people too. You know, we could talk about the border. Why are they all coming here? If they all get treated like shit. Shay left. I don't know exactly why, but I'm gonna assume it's like all the other people that don't stick around and actually have conversations that make sense. They check out because you're not feeding into the bullshit that they want to hear. I'm not raising a victim. We're not raising victims. My mother, she didn't necessarily raise me to be a victim because she told me I can do stuff, but she also let me know, like, well, you can do it, but there's still an obstacle there for you. No. And the link is in the description. If you get out of the comment box, if you click out of the comment box, the link is in the description right there in Cash's YouTube. You'll see it. And he's a black cop, and I'm glad he's coming on here because people are so far freaking gone. It's scary. So far gone. We're to the point where people are asking for segregation again.
That's the scary part. We're asking for everything that people like Martin Luther King fought to end. And like you're fighting against everything that somebody like him fought to end, to bring an end to that. Like that's the scariest thing. Like, do you realize you're fighting to go backwards? Who fights and supports going backwards?
Hey, look, Jesse Lee Peterson says it best.
Amazing.
Black folks are some of the most backwards people I have ever come in contact with. I don't know if we're operating in a reprobate mind. I don't know if all this media has like completely destroyed your brain to where you can't even think for yourself, because everything she said is what she got from a TV. And I'm sorry, but your reality,
right.
your perception is your reality. Notice the modifiers on there. Your perception is your reality. It's not mine. It's not Eric's. It's not Casey's. It's not Jonathan. It's not Kathy. It's yours. That doesn't speak for the entire map of the US. That's craziness.
Not mine either.
And Jay, Lucky, I see that you're on here, but your video is not coming up, so I can't bring you on the stream. And we're waiting for, what's his name? The cop, the black cop. Yeah.
Chief Cook.
Thank you. We're suffering from Stockholm syndrome. We're suffering from PTSD because we got emotionalized mothers that don't know how to raise men. And more women need to recognize that. We need a man to give them the things that we can't. I can't teach my boy how to be that. I can't.
And it's another important point. I think honestly, like I got it from actual Kevin Samuels stream. He was talking about that, like Black people, we're the most media susceptible people of any demographic. We're the most media susceptible. So we're the most probably quickly to be deceived by media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're the easiest ones to deceive. So that tells you a lot right there. Why this mentality is just so pervasive, and why it's so like deeply ingrained in so many people, and why they fight so hard against other people who don't accept that, who don't accept that program.
Go ahead, Jay. What you got for us?
Hey, man, I just tuned in to the point where we supposed to be policing each other. So I'm like, I'm supposed to be policed by these single mother raised bastards and shit. Non-logically, emotionally raised, charged idiot. That's who's supposed to be telling me what to fucking do. Fuck the hell on here, shit. Hell no. Yo, what's her name? Shante. I can tell she sounds like she done locked a few boyfriends up. I mean, I've been on the other side of that, the glass window. You don't want the police? I use the police the most. That's the type of thing you call the cops on motherfuckers. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My bad, Shorty. I apologize. I'm like, damn. And what's up, Kathy? And my man Casey and the rest of the company.
Oh my God. No filter.
No, I'm like,
I love this dude.
Listening to this. Really? I mean, I don't trust myself with a gun, but I definitely want to trust them bastards with a gun. And they are. And the sorry part about it is they already own them. You know, when they come for the legal guns, they ain't talking about the people who the bad guys out here running around with them. They're not confiscating their guns. They gonna still have their shit. And these are the people that we want to police our neighborhoods.
I don't. Shantae do. You know, that's thug life. That's what they look.
Yeah, I know.
Look, you want the same people that was. She said they bashed my door. They was hitting my door. I was scared for my life. So the same people that's bashing your door, you want those same people to be police officers, and you think for 1 second, if you give certain Black folks that power, the only thing that can come from it is bad.
Man, I had the cops roll up on me a couple days ago, man. They was cooler than the motherfucker. They was looking for a car that was involved in a murder, And I kept my cool. I'm outside drinking. I got my little radio on and everything. And like, we just looking for a car that's involved for a murder. Like, shit, I'm like, I'm on y'all side. Y'all see the wristband? Trump 2020. Shit, I'm like, shit. You feel me? I'm on y'all side. Shit.
Well, welcome to the stream. What's his name? Chief Cook?
Yes, how you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
Hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a 35 year retired police chief, deputy chief in here in Memphis, Tennessee. Now let me
Yes.
some to you guys. I agree that some that I forget his name was Jordan. No, Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan. Agree with someone you say you're absolutely right. This is what's going on. Now there's different kinds of cops. You got guys up north and guys down south. We do different down here in the south and way up north. Things like this. That's how they do up north. See, cops don't, the media and people don't understand just because you think you see some cop doing something, it's all bad cops, it's all bad. It's not. Yes, do we got bad apples? Yes, that's everywhere. That's every branch, that's every service crap. That's everywhere. Problem is, people just don't, yes, there are racist cops. Yes, there are cops, we got rookies, haven't been trained properly. We got seasoned veterans do something stupid. That happens everywhere. But no cops gonna go out there and go chase someone so we can kill people and stuff like that. What happened to George Floyd with a mistake? It should never happen. They got on properly trained, and those cops should have done something as well. But then again, you got supporting these cops. They were going to train anyway, so it's hard. You sit there blame all of them at once. One cop does not make everybody bad. We got the liberal media. You got it's a lot of things going around in Peace Park. We outnumbered. We had shortages come in. A lot of things. Yes, some of it's our fault. I agree with that. But also, it comes to time. We have time to change everything. What we see anymore. Excuse me. I've seen right here in the South. I've seen the neighborhood when I was a young cop grow. Now it's turning bad and over, and the city going down shit. And they're not home. We got domestic violence is up, hate crime is up, everything. This is not an easy job to do. And I want to say that everybody think it's hunky dory. What you see on TV is not what's that TV show, Law and Order.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's a process going. And people don't understand that when a cop pulls you over, it just be put. Don't think it's all bad. Do as you're told. That's all we ask. So we can get go on about your day. And that's one thing. We don't. And that cop who shoot that girl who had a knife, by the way. He didn't know everything going, but he did the right thing. Now she shot like that. No, some cops are well trained to shoot. You should shot in the leg, or shot in the arm like that. Some cops who are good to shoot like that, and I agree with it. Go ahead. Somebody say something?
Sorry, Chief Cook. I just wanted to. I have a question for you because, one of the things that I don't know how long you've been on the live tonight, but it's been pretty interesting is that there seems to be a line of thought that police are inherently treating people based on the value of their color rather than the actions that they're taking or the way that they respond to commands, those kinds of things. And one of the things that particularly I want to dispel as somebody who's been treated both really good and really bad by police officers is that there is no there is no prejudice for
right.
And I can't speak to the majority, right? I can only speak to the interactions I've had. But
yes,
you're somebody who interacts with the majority of your coworkers, and I would just ask you to speak on this topic specifically. Can you either confirm or dispel the notion that police officers are out there, and when they interact with somebody that's either whether you're melanin deficient or extremely melanin rich, whatever you want, however we want to define these terms today. But
Well,
can you give us some validity or
yeah.
some dispelling of that notion?
Okay, where I live in Memphis here, and it's majority black. Now we do have Hispanic coming up. Hispanic are in the rise in the community. We don't go out there and everybody think we're going to try to find. No, we don't do that. If we expect somebody, yes, no matter who you are, and we expect you doing something wrong, we gonna check on it. We not pointing everything, but if you come out like doing something stupid, we have to question that. We have to question that. It's not who you are, black, white, whatever. Now, unfortunately, yes, black people do much crime. Unfortunately, this happened. Like I said, I live in Jordan, Black City, and crime is up. Carjackings is up. Breaking stores is up. And unfortunately, it's black people. And since we got this damn mask mandate, they come in with a mask, and we can't hardly recognize because they got that mask on.
So can I segue into another question with that, because your job has, I think, become inherently 100 times more difficult in the last 12 months than it ever was. What would be your take on these narrative points of I mean, we've talked about segregation here tonight as being a solution to what seems to be like, to me, you're somebody with knowledge from the other end. When we're dealing with people, do you guys not take into account? I mean, I think this is where a lot of people get confused, I guess I should say, is when you're responding to a call, you're getting dispatched, right? And so you're hearing a lot of times from the dispatcher specific details about the situation. Not everything is clear. And when you arrive on scene, you're dealing with the personality, not the individual's color of skin. You're dealing with their situation and their immediate need at that particular time, correct?
When we get a call from dispatch, they say time, where the place is. It might describe the person is, whether the person is black or white, and what's going on. That's all we know. We go in and the cop goes that area or the place where the car is, and we figure out what the hell's going on. We don't know.
So would it be fair to say that your interactions then are based off of the individual's response to your arrival on scene, more so than they are the description and the call that comes in?
It comes up. I agree. We drives up. First thing we come out and say, "What's going on? What happened?" Well, I said like a shooting. Okay, it says a shooting right here. So we come out, we find out, okay, who's shooting, where is shooting, who the person is shooting, and we gotta figure out, who that person is. It doesn't matter who that person cutter is. We try to stop that person. If that person's still there, who has a gun, come out, with your hands up, so we don't have to do anything. We don't care who that person is. If you have a gun, yourself have a gun, and come and shoot, we come and stop you for doing anything else. It doesn't matter. Put that gun before you harm us, or before we harm you. It doesn't matter who you are, men, women, black or white, whatever. We're not come out there and trying. We're trying to kill all black people and trying to keep out. No, you are doing a crime. Our job is to stop that crime or prevent it. Prevent it. And it does not matter who you are. And that's fact. You got nobody. If they trying to defund the police, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters? I know it sounds crazy, but who you gonna call? You had nobody come get you. Stop the crimes. Stop the crime. Do anything. If somebody break in your house, who you gonna do? Now, I know some state, like my state, they passed a right to carry law, which is ridiculous because how many people that ain't trained to carry a firearm? They don't know the meaning. And once you pull that trigger and where that bullet goes, you are responsible where that bullet goes. And a lot of people don't know that. When you get a firearm. Now we got laws that does protect you. Also, we have the laws will come at you if you done something wrong with that gun. Unfortunately, it protects the victim. I mean, not the victim, the perpetrator, more than the victim, which is kind of stupid. In my case, I admit that.
One thing that you said, Chief Cook. One thing that you said that really struck something with me is you keep saying we.
Yeah,
You don't separate yourself by color. You acknowledge yourself as simply police officers.
Yes.
And I hope, I don't know if Tiffany's still here. She's muted, but I hope she's still here and listening, because he said, we don't care about what you look like. We don't care about what skin color you are. We show up to stop whatever crime is being committed or prevent it.
Anything you mentioned there, like the sign says, our job is to serve and protect. That is true. That is true. We're not perfect. We're not super cops. We're not RoboCops. We are here to serve and protect. We face our line. We got women cops out here putting our line online. I've seen women take down guys who's 6 foot, and knock the hell out of them. But they do it. We got Hispanics. We got Asian. They're here to serve, protect this city. They work 12 hours, sometimes double shift, because, like I said, we all a shorthand, and this is a stressful job. They do not care what color. We're here to protect you people from crime. That's what we are. Now, things happen, yes. We got, like I said, we got bad apples, yes. Some guys are trained right, yes. But we are the best thing going. We're the best thing to defend anything going on. You can't call the Army. You can't call the National Guard. They call us. And when I see politicians sitting there telling me funny, and I see last politician here defend us, calls everything name in the book, and something happened. Who she called? She called us.
Yep, Minnesota.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to ask you, if you got another chance to get a question here real quick. We've talked a lot about different things tonight specifically, but one of the things that kind of hits home for me is this compliance idea, right? And if you got a battle with the police, do it in the courtroom rather than on the streets. That's always going to work out better for you, right? So one of the things I'm going to ask, from your perspective, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all human. We all make mistakes, right? You're human. I'm sure you've made your fair amount, maybe on the job, maybe not. Who knows?
Yes.
But my point in saying this is, I'm seeing comments, I'm seeing things, and we have to dispel this myth that compliance is submission. It's not. And I guess if we're looking at things from a submit or non-submit standpoint, we're always going to be in fight or flight when it comes to interacting with authority. And that drives me insane, because authority is only given to people who take on great responsibility in this country. And so I just want to ask you really quickly if you can touch on that point. When you're interacting with people and these such situations come up, compliance is the only answer that is going to end with your life still being intact at the end of it, correct?
There are people out there who think we should kiss their ass. For God's what? We just because you're a taxpayer and you pay our salary, you still think we kiss your ass, and that's what it is. Everywhere you go, kiss your ass. Yes, there cops do something, have attitude, and yes, period got attitude. But plain and simple, if you think something's wrong with this cop, see his badge, write down his badge number, take your PC, and go to court. Don't until then, you do exactly what he tells you to do. Don't make it harder for you. We all want to go home. You want to go home, you want to go home. Don't come with his attitude. He's not coming with attitude. Yes, sir. No, sir. The same would go both ways. Yes, sir. No, sir. Because we always hear cops say, "Hey, ma'am,
thank you.
Good morning.
100%.
Yeah. Good morning. How you doing, sir? I caught you on a 35, and I say maybe 35 and 40, whatever it is, like that, and you call speeding. Now we get and can I please have your license? Can I please your registration? And that's it. That's all you had. It's all the compliance. Why you need it? Because I caught you speeding. And we do have cameras now. Thank God we do have cameras so they can back up what they say. And unfortunately, there's some states and some cops do cut the cameras off when coming on stuff like this so they can get there's some cops we able to get our numbers up, and they do that sometimes. But still, just be appliant so you can go home and I can go home.
I just want to say thank you, Chief Cook. Like that's Such good information. I apologize for jacking the live. I'll let y'all talk now. Go
No,
ahead.
thank you for coming on, Chief Cook. I appreciate it. And I hope we get to have you on again.
The lady got to say something. A lady heard. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Kathy. And then I'm gonna be on for like 10, 15 more minutes to let other people talk, and then I'm gonna hop off.
All it is people doing their job and wanting to go home to their families. It doesn't matter what color the person is or what race the person is. They want to get home and have the next meal with their family. You know, it's not people going out to hurt people. When I got adopted, and I did get adopted when I was 13, my dad was a cop. My sister was a cop. They're both dead now, but that's a different story. All they wanted to come home is to their family, you know? And for people to think that all they're trying to do is kill them, that's not the case.
I would disagree. Is it my turn? Can I get a word in? I don't want to be rude. I've never been here. My name is Joe. I'm from Chicago. I'm a cop watcher. I think someone's YouTube is open. I hear an echo. And if you want, you could check my channel right quick. I'm legit. I'm not a troll. But I'm going to say some anti-cop stuff here. You guys.
Okay. Well, before you do that, a lot of us have cops for family members.
I disrespect.
I personally, we can't talk at the same time.
I'm sorry.
I personally know Chicago police officers.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say,
yeah,
respect is mutual. You can have your disagreements.
Yeah.
But I know some good ass police officers in Chicago.
I would disagree.
Really good friends with them.
I got you that you're good friends with them, and I would not be disrespectful. Please don't take it that way if it sounds like I'm being disrespectful. But I know Chicago cops as well. I grew up in Chicago. I am on Madison and Central, one of the most dangerous corners in Chicago right now. There's 2 police cars parked right out here. This is a 24-hour post here because so many murders occur here. I've been chasing the police for almost 2 years now, filming them. I have a very good view. Not only that, I travel the country often and film police everywhere. I have a good opinion on this, and my shit should be considered. All right, now I'm not a disrespectful cat, at least not intentionally. And I got to tell you, you cats with this just comply stuff. Do you know the danger behind that? Just give your ID and comply now, complain later. First of all, does the system actually work? Can I go in there if I don't have $10,000 and hire a lawyer to fight that case where he pushed me or whatever my complaint is? Because the public defender is not going to do it for me. Who has the money to go through the system to get redress? No one does. And when you comply, I'm sorry, I'll wrap it up. And when you comply, you encourage them to keep doing the same thing to the next man. If you don't flex your rights, you lose your rights. I want to get home too, just like that cop. Give me the same consideration.
I agree.
I'm sure you do. Regardless of a cop being on here, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull my friend who's a cop on the force right now, who polices her own community in Humboldt Park. Since all cops are bad, and all cops treat black folks different. Come on, bro.
While you're doing that, Suni, I'm gonna talk on that a little bit. So, Joe, I hear what you're saying. There is absolutely, it is important to know your rights as an individual. It is important to know when you are being pushed past your legal rights. That is absolutely, we need more education. And this goes back to what I've said a lot of times in the chat. You guys just haven't seen my face up here on the live streams a lot, which is, it goes back to the point of know your civics. If you understand your civic duty, then it doesn't matter when you interact with a police officer, because if you do comply, then your civic duty will get you into a position to put yourself either in a courtroom to deter the effects of that outcome, or it will put you in a position to have an outcome that is with a conversation that is at a low enough pitch and with the correct tone that you can have a conversation. Listen, I've had police officers come at me for not having tags on my car and tell me they're going to impound my car, put me in jail for 5 years because I had previous tickets. I'm no stranger to this stuff. But when you treat the police with the proper amount of respect and you tell them, I know what the laws are and I understand what you're trying to do right now, it puts them in a different position. So I understand your argument and where you're coming at with know your rights. That is absolutely an important piece to this puzzle. But when that puzzle breaks down, in order for everybody to go home with their life intact, compliance is necessary. That's where I bring that up. That is the ultimate show of I can handle whatever the hell you're going to throw at me, is to say, throw everything you got at me, and I'm still going to do the right thing. That is what I call being strong.
Okay. I'm going to pull some of you guys down. Real quick, Kathy, real quick, because I got to get out of here. But I want Chelly to say something.
Okay, Joe, you said you're policing the cops. Have you ever rode with the cop? Have you ever rode with them to see the anxiety that they go through on an everyday basis with these people?
I have
Instead
not
of
rode.
policing them and and recording the cops. Instead of recording the cops, how about recording both the criminals too?
A criminal ain't never locked me up, snatched me from my home, locked me up, took my car, took my
So
job.
it's a vendetta. I'll let you talk.
Personal vendetta.
Go ahead. I'll let you talk.
Yeah. Police are far more dangerous, and I live in a drug-infested, gang-infested neighborhood. The police are way more deadly. Maybe, film the crooks 1/10 of the time that I film a cop, but the danger right now is the cop. They are the hand of the of this systematic racist systematic.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yeah, of course.
How many cops have killed Chicagoans this year? How many police related murders
this year?
Yes.
I don't know. I looked at the stat and don't remember.
Okay. How many minority on minority crimes happened this year in Chicago?
I don't know, but I'd love to know your point.
So 106 kids have been killed shot so far, 16 killed. Out of those murders, how many of them were directly related to police?
I don't know how many police.
0.
Okay. And your point is what?
You're policing the wrong people.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's a vendetta for you.
We're doing statistics. Let's do them correctly. How many?
I did. These are FBI statistics.
Hold on.
Matter of fact,
hold on.
There's a Chicago police officer right there.
There's 6 of them right here. I'm not sure of your point. Listen, how many police are out there in Chicago? 6,000.
I'm gonna take you off, Kathy. Thank you for coming on.
The point is, we got a police officer right here who could tell you about it.
Yes, let me rebut, and the police officer could have responded. The point is, there are 6,000 police officers here, and that's including a few extras. There are 3.5 million people in here, and in this neighborhood, most of these people are black. So there are supposed to be a ton of more black people killing blacks. Blacks than police. Statistics are obviously going to kill.
So you don't give a shit when a black person kills a black person, but you care if a cop does it. If a black person kills a black person, it's poverty. It's supposed to happen.
No, be nice. Your reputation and activism.
Go ahead, Chelly. I want a Chicago police officer to defend herself. I tried to do it. I defended you. But I can't anymore. I have to let her talk. Go ahead.
Okay, so I missed part of this because I am forced to work 12 hours on my days off. So I just came in right now. So this is, I heard someone talking numbers. These are the numbers in Chicago as of right now, and we are only in May. If you look at this, it will tell you in detail. This is how many people have been shot so far in Chicago. 1,345. There has been already 248 homicides. This will tell you where they're happening. If you look just this weekend alone, and we're not through Sunday yet, this is how many people have been shot right here. The white are people that are shot, red are people that are dead. If I'm not mistaken, there was a female 6-year-old right here in Inglewood. A female black child shot. No one's talking about it. I didn't even hear about it. I watch this every weekend. Here are the rates compared same weekend last year. Every year it gives you the same weekend. Right now we are a little lower. Last weekend, oh no, actually, right now we have 8 killed. Last year was 10. We got 36 wounded, 42 last year. So we'll see by midnight tonight how that changes. But these numbers don't lie. And this is just 2021. You can go on here. You can get 2020, 2019, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I didn't hear what was being said exactly. So if you can kind of like catch me up just a little bit, and then I can speak on it.
Yeah. So this whole thing was just calling out the community earlier when we were on here for standing up for what's right. And Jay said, well, I watch cops, and cops are terrorists, they're bullies, they're in our communities more. He doesn't like cops, and he gave his reason. It is a personal vendetta, which you said yourself. You said a black person ain't never did A, B, C, D, E, F, G to me, which makes it a personal vendetta.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's not a personal vendetta. From 9 to 5, your job is to go in my pocket. Your job, especially if you're was the one from Humboldt Park, your job is to protect them when they write those bad reports. You can't call them out. You know why? Because you'll be ostracized. If you turn.
Wait, are you talking to me right now, or are you talking to Suni?
I think I'm talking to you. If you're the one from Humboldt Park that she was talking about.
Okay, I asked Suni to explain to me kind of where we're at, and yeah. I feel like you don't know me, first and foremost, and you're coming at me really, really heated.
Well, I'm sorry.
We can have a respectful dialogue. I'm all for it, but it will be respectful.
Baby.
So Chelly, Joe is a cop watcher in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Is that right, Joe?
I am a cop watcher in Chicago, and I have not disrespected you by quoting a stat. Where have I disrespected?
I never said you disrespected me. I never said that. Okay, I just said we could have a respectful conversation. I was talking to Suni, and I asked her to catch me up on what I've missed, and then you came in.
Yes, Sony said something, and I was responding to what Sony said. And it's curious that twice I've been cautioned to be respectful since I've been here. I will not be disrespectful. I'll tell you the same thing. Certainly not intentionally, which is the definition of disrespect. I was just saying that, and first, I have no vendetta against the cops. I didn't call them terrorists and all of these things. Cops are normal people. I want them to go home safe. I'm sure they're good to their family and friends. However, the job is crooked. The job itself, your proof is when the police pulls up, does anyone feel secure and say, I will be protected today? No, they say I will be victimized and this guy will go in my pocket. Police are a bad guy from 9 to 5. That's your job.
Okay, so first of all, the police don't work 9 to 5. The police work several different things. We don't work a 9 to 5 job, and we work 9-hour days in Chicago. So second of all, I let you speak, right? You stopped speaking, so now I'm going to speak.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. I don't know much about you. I don't disagree with you being a cop watcher. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me at all whatsoever. Like, I'm here for it because I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be doing. So that stuff doesn't bother me. Body cams don't bother me. Cell phones in my face don't bother me. None of that bothers me. I'm here for it because guess what? My body cam has proven a lot of people wrong. So I'm here for it all day, every day. I have no problem with being totally transparent at all. As far as you talking about people going in pockets, if you've had a personal experience like that, that's something that you should take up with a supervisor. And therefore, you, in the beginning, when I asked Suni talk about what catch me up on stuff, you kind of you stated that cops are crooked, that I can't say anything because then I'm ostracized. That's what you said, which is why I wanted to clarify, where are you speaking to me? Because I don't know you and I've never had any kind of conversation with you. So by you saying that I would be ostracized, you're assuming something about me when you know nothing about me other than I wear a uniform. So there you are making assumptions. I don't make assumptions about you. I don't assume because you're a cop watcher, you're a cop hater. I don't assume that about you. You have your reasons and I have mine.
I cannot.
And this is where communication breaks down between communities and officers. It's because we want to assume that. First of all, I'm never going to allow anyone to do anything crooked in front of me. I grew up in Humboldt Park. Half of my family is out there on the streets. I know all about that life. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be the change I wanted to see. And I've been doing it for 24 years. And I'm not going to stop. And guess what? No one is going to ostracize me. No one is going to shut me down. No one is going to tell me what I can and cannot do. And look, you're being disrespectful. You're laughing at what I'm saying instead of actually listening to understand what I'm saying to you.
I'm listening to you. There's a police standing outside my window, out my back window. That's when I looked over my shoulder and laughed. I'm listening. I heard every word, and I'd like an opportunity to respond. You're moving on to 18 different things. I won't be able to.
But in your first comment to me, you spoke about 18 different things about me when you don't even know me.
I disagree. Let's start there.
Okay, let's start there. That's fine. I'm here for it. We can start there. Go ahead.
I don't know you personally, but I've been here 50 years in Chicago. I know Humboldt. I'm sorry, baby. I know Humboldt Park. I know Humboldt Park very well. I know police very well. I've sold drugs for like 30 years, so I know them from that end. And I've been square for the last 3 years, and filming the police, so I know them from that end. So if you're a cop in Humboldt Park, let's assume I know something about you, not you per se. I know what the cops are here, and I know what they're like in Humboldt Park. I got videos, and I tell you again, when I'm out there with the police, when they break a law, when they push me, when there's 30 cops out there and they push me, quote a law that's not true. You can't film this person. They have privacy rights. You can't film here on a public sidewalk. No one corrects them. You would be a unicorn if you are what you say.
I am what I say.
All right.
Every day, all day. I don't back down for nobody, period.
Hey.
All right.
Hey.
Sunny, I have a suggestion.
I have a question really quick because he said something that rung a bell in my head. You said that you have all these interactions with police officers, etc. And I'm going to ask you respectfully, could it be because they know that you were a drug dealer for many years of your life?
It could not be, because most of them do not know that, even though I tell them now, and I'm pretty popular. I got a lot of subs, but most of them do not know my history.
Okay, let me ask you. Okay, you answer. That's a fair answer. I'll accept that. Now let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Interaction that you've had with the police.
Yeah.
You're telling me, as someone who just admitted that they've been a drug dealer most of their life and have only been here the last 3 years, has all been the police attacking you for no reason except for what?
I'm sorry. What was the question? Have they all been attacking me?
Your interaction with the police.
Yeah.
Has all been the police just harassing you for no reason?
Oh, goodness, no. But most of them have. I have, I think, 3 felonies, all cases. I sold drugs all my life, never caught square. The 3 felonies I have with them planting dope on me.
Okay.
So, yes, I've had bad. They come up on me 3 times before I knew my rights. They'd come up on me and search me, take my pants down in the streets, go in my pockets. All these things are illegal. No cop ever said, hey, you can't go in his pockets on a dairy frisk, on a weapons frisk. No cop has ever said that. No cop.
So can I ask you a question, Joe?
Ever.
In those 3 instances, how many times have you done your civic duty to go back to the courts and fight those things, put in complaints, make sure that what you're doing doesn't allow that to continue to happen, to your point, to the next guy, right? Because that was your whole point coming on here, was if we don't If we don't do our job and we let the police do these dirty things to us, then it's going to happen to other people. So I'm going to put it back on you and ask you, you said you have 3 felonies. You were a drug dealer, but all 3 of those felonies come out of dirty deals, right? So let's talk about that for a second. Have you done your civic duty, gone back to these police precincts and their captains, officers, and filed complaints and made sure that you've done your...
Very good. That cat is wise, whatever his name is. I like him. In the beginning, I've been an activist here for a very long time. I filed complaints. Here we had the Office of Professional Standards. I've been to Internal Affairs, the Citizens Board, COPA Board is what it's called here in Chicago. All of those things, even with witnesses, they didn't even ask the witnesses what happened. All of them were found unfounded. And by the way, I've been down to Springfield talking to my state reps, congressmen, and all of that stuff. I've worked in every community in the neighborhood.
So let me just make an astute observation real quick, because I think what you've said is important. You have to look at who leads the police force in the ultimatum. Let's talk about that if we're going to have a real conversation, right? The city of Chicago is run by Lori Lightfoot, who has just in the last 48 hours or 72 hours said, I will not take interviews from white people. This is the narrative that is being pushed. These are the ideas that are getting leaked into the public, that people leech onto, and they live their life by these words. Earlier in this conversation, probably before you joined, I'm not sure, but we had somebody literally on here who was pushing for segregation, not only of just communities, but also of policing, of every factor of life. This is where this logic leads. If we take a step back and we say, we got to apply civic duty to this, and I'm going to do it, you're going to do it, everybody in this room is going to do it, we no longer have bad police because we're all doing our job. And my point is simply to say this: we cannot put these lenses of all cops are bad intrinsically because they got to go out and get tickets and they got to go pull people over. These are important tasks that keep public roads safe. They are important tasks that keep the community safe. Now, we can have a talk about the process that people ultimately sometimes go through from traffic stop to jail. I think we can all agree that there are some tricky words that sometimes are used, but predominantly, for the majority of the time, police are out there for your, mine, and everybody else's safety, to be arbitrators mainly.
I like you. I'm not going to give you a hard time because I really like you. I'm not going to give you a hard time. So I'll let someone else.
You can give me as hard a time as you want. I'm speaking to the reality, and that's why I'm okay with it. These are important facts and truths to know, so that there isn't room for arbitrage in this.
All right.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, go ahead, baby.
Okay, so I'd like to ask you a question. You said that you've been recording police, or I think there's more to you just recording police, correct?
I've been a cop watcher for 2 years, but I've been an activist.
Cop watcher.
Yeah.
Okay, an activist for what? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm for like 30, 35 years, since I was maybe a teenager or something.
What type of activist?
I've worked in every neighborhood, community program here. I've had magazines out. I've been written up in every newspaper. I was one of the top 20 young activists. I did Freedom Summer '94. I've traveled and talked to colleges. I've done a lot of activism.
Okay, let me ask you a question, and I mean this with the utmost respect. I'm trying to have an actual conversation. You were an activist and talking to college students while you were a drug dealer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my question. Have you ever worked with community policing?
Yes. In fact, I started the CAPS program. I was in on that. The Safe Passage, I was in on the beginning of that, the inception of it. I had the first CAPS books. I wrote up some of the first Safe Passage. I have been involved. Yeah.
Okay, so you said Safe Passage. Safe Passage started quite a while ago, a while back. You stated that you have been clean from doing anything illegal activities for 3 years.
Yes.
So then you also wrote stuff for CAPS. The original CAPS book, when that came out, was several decades ago. To be honest. So you were writing stuff for the community while you were a part of the problem.
I was at my apartment that I paid for with drug money while I was working for the community. Yes, I was. I don't have a problem with selling drugs, though. You say part of the problem. I don't have a problem with it. I don't.
I do. Quit poisoning your own people.
I'm sorry. Did you go protest outside the liquor
Quit
store?
poisoning your own people. It's all right.
Okay,
it's all right.
I have a problem as a mother. You're selling it to the children out there on the streets that eventually get back to the children that are in my family. So I got a problem with it.
I have
Go ahead,
another
Kelly.
question for you, Joe.
Yeah,
So have you done a ride along?
I have not done a ride along.
Have you done any scenarios, like actual scenarios, go to a place where they offer you to basically do a scenario, and what would you do?
To be honest with you, I just heard about that for the first time about 2 months ago. I didn't know such a thing existed. One of my friends who I met, I got a lot of police friends now. In fact, they're all out here around me. It told me about it. I just found out that's a possibility.
So basically, you'll go and they'll do scenarios, live scenarios that have actually happened, and you respond. Like, what would you do, etc. So my question is that just like me growing up where I grew up, I actually still live in the hood, to be honest. But I think that because of where I grew up and the things that I know about my own people and what I see and what I know, and being the police, I can look at both sides of the fence, right? I know that there was a time where if you got smart with them, they'd crack your ass. I understand that. I see it. I get it. I grew up there. I know how half of my cousins got their ass dragged. I get it.
That's right.
So my question though is I didn't want to be bitter. I didn't want to be bitter. I didn't want to hate the police. I decided to put my money where my mouth is and make a change. And I've been doing that for 24 years. And I know tons of people that are just like me, and they are Hispanic, they are Black, they are Asian, they are all colors under the sun.
Yeah.
If you know Humboldt Park, because you stated, oh, I know a lot about Humboldt Park, then you would know that the districts that are surrounding Humboldt Park are very diverse.
That's right.
Their officers are not the majority white. Their officers are majority minority.
That's right. I think it's the 25th over there.
There's 25, there's 12, there's 14, there's 17, 18, several districts that surround Humboldt Park.
Yeah.
And those officers the majority is no longer white. The majority is actually Hispanic and Black.
I got some good videos with them. I agree. I know. So
my point to you is when you stated that an officer can speak the way they want because they're ostracized, if you truly, truly believe that, so you're believing that people like myself and like many other minorities that I know that are Black and Hispanic, that basically we're just going to stand back and let people treat our people that way?
I see it all day, every day. All day. I can show you a video right now. Last night, police had a call on Cicero. I don't know if you were on duty last night. Probably not, because I think you say you just got in on Cicero. And I don't know. Anyway, shots fired. Cicero and Jackson, 20-some shots fired on the way. Cop right here on Lotus and Jackson T-bones a car, knocks him to the side. And the cop is injured. The people are really injured in the car. I mean, you know how it is when the cop is injured. You know how many cops showed up. It was a ton. When
tons of cops are going to show up because it was just shots fired, period. Yeah, that's first and foremost. Everybody's doing
when a cop's involved, everybody responds, though. I'm sure you know that. And then they shut down Jackson both ways. It was a big deal. And then
because people are injured, not because just a cop was injured. Our first priority is the sanctity of life.
Okay, I got you, babe. But here's my issue. That a white shirt came up to me and told me that, listen, you got to go now. The ambulance is here. And these people have a right to privacy. You are no longer allowed to film. All these 50, 60 cops out here.
It's called HIPAA.
No one.
It's called HIPAA.
I'm a citizen. I'm not under the obligation of HIPAA. That's a medical thing. I'm not.
You are under the obligation of HIPAA. You can't release actual footage of somebody getting medical treatment without their knowledge or without their permission.
Have you not seen?
Just to understand, Joe, what that is it breaks the legality, the chain of custody for if you are filming and you see somebody that is injured on the streets. Ultimately, it is the police's responsibility to recover those images and then make them public knowledge if necessary. However,
Right.
it is a HIPAA law violation for you to film somebody for example, getting into an ambulance. Even that information is protected by HIPAA laws. And unless a doctor or the patient themselves says that it can be released,
Yes.
it technically is a violation. Now, I will give you that it's violated quite frequently without any repercussion, but it is a violation nonetheless.
Yeah, you're absolutely wrong. HIPAA, you must be in the medical profession to fall under that. I've signed no papers.
The patient was required to give consent. That's HIPAA.
No, not in a public place. There is no expectation of privacy in public. None. Anything I can see from a
When the
public
police
place,
ask you to step back, that is considered a private space.
no, police don't have arbitrary rules. That's not true either. Please tell me you know the law. I can't see your name. Let me see what your name is.
When they are processing a scene and they ask you to please disperse, it is the law.
Go ahead, Shelly.
If you walk into any police station right now, any police station, which is a public place, right? When you walk into the police station, there is a sign now that says there is absolutely no video recording when citizens are present.
And that sign is illegal.
It's not, because you cannot violate another citizen's rights. They have the right to privacy.
How do you guys not know the freaking law? Listen,
I do know the law. Like, I'm trying to tell you to educate you, and you seem like you just want to listen just to respond and not to actually understand anything we're saying.
No, I'm just disagreeing with you. I want to argue my point a bit more. I'm not agreeing. I'm just disagreeing. I'm not arguing.
One second, sir, because I want Tiffany to be able to talk because I'm about to wrap this up.
All right.
Do you want to respond, Tiffany? Or are you done?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. Well, you're not going to respond. Do you want to make a response? I don't want to butcher your name. I'm sorry.
It's Konika. And
okay.
I just have a suggestion. Like you've talked about, Joe, you've talked about, all these years you've been out there gang banging and doing your drugs and selling your drugs. And obviously, all the drug dealers in the area. And all the officers in the area because you watch them. You mentioned something about the public defenders not helping you. I agree with that. They're kind of trash. But here's an idea. Grab a book while you're sitting there watching those officers.
Yeah.
Learn the law and defend yourself. Stop being a criminal and blaming your criminal activity on the officers arresting you.
I've been stopped being a criminal. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I break no laws now. And in fact, I study law, which is why I know I'm right about this.
I mean, 50 years you've been breaking the law. You could have been a damn lawyer by now. And defending the people that are out there doing the shit you're doing. So
I would absolutely agree with you and understand that you're talking to a guy, and this is another conversation for another time because she's had to wrap it up. But you're talking to a guy who is not clouded by the mist of what some other person believes. If you guys aren't out there protesting Ahmed at the 7-Eleven for selling alcohol when people get into a car accident and babies die and all of that, then you have no grounds to tell me that selling drugs is bad.
Yes, I do.
Are the biggest dope dealers in the world.
You're done. You're done.
Have no ground.
You're done.
About we're being bad guys selling drugs.
You are. You're selling it to your own community while crying about police officers harming you. Sorry you don't like the truth. And you know what? I don't have to get out and protest. I actually care about the youth and I'm telling them the truth because that's what more adults need to do. We don't need to tell them, oh, you need to watch the police because there's bad police officers out there. You're not even watching the criminals that are there. You're not even watching the criminals that are forcing cops to be there because they're committing crimes. 1 + 1 is 2. There's a cause and effect.
So let me ask
if they weren't committing crimes, if they weren't committing crimes, cops wouldn't be there. It's pretty much that simple.
Yes.
So if you don't want cops there, tell everybody in your community, stop doing illegal stuff.
I would disagree with you. I'm not a fan of that.
I'm sure you would.
I'm not a fan of that just obey philosophy. I think that's how it's
okay.
Like it is now. And all of those people who are telling me, if you're just more respectful to polite and polite to cops, because they just need to get home, the world will be so much better.
Why'd you stop selling drugs?
I think you prolong my struggle.
Why'd you stop selling drugs?
That's like, you can ask me a question when I'm done talking, right?
No, you can answer it or we can bounce. So why'd you stop selling drugs? Period. You won't answer the question because you know what it is. Why'd you stop selling drugs?
You say why or when?
Why?
I got I was using them as well. And what is that shit called? They came in, fentanyl came in, and I didn't like them. It wasn't as fun joining them anymore. So I tried to stop, and my habit was super bad, so I had to go to a rehab. During that rehab, I got popped off. Did 7 months house arrest. That's when I studied law and cleaned up and stopped doing drugs.
So you stopped doing drugs because drugs are bad.
No, I love smack. I'm not gonna bullshit you. If they still had that same heroin, I probably would still be running the streets. Fentanyl saved my life. They put it in all the drugs, and I don't like it. I finally got a break and got my vision.
Joe, that's Jesus, brother. That ain't the fentanyl. I promise you that. No, I'm not joking, man. Like, honestly, you can't thank fentanyl for getting you off of drugs. You got to thank yourself. You got to thank your higher power, my brother. Like, it isn't fentanyl that helped you get off drugs. In fact, that's the poison in your community that you were feeding them. That's the exact point that Sunni's trying to make. That we're hearing here, which is, look, man, I don't think fundamentally there's actually a disagreement here. What we're talking about is minutia at this point. What you're talking about is, from the get, right, is procedural. It's police pulling people over and then ending in something else more than just a traffic ticket, right?
Yes.
So let's get back on topic, which is, if you want to talk about quotas, you want to talk about all of this, that's fine. But we got to stop degrading the people who are out there saving lives. That's what they're doing.
Who is that? Who's saving lives?
We got one right here on screen with us. Chelly. Right here. Right there. Right here in the bottom of your screen. She's out here. She was out here on patrol earlier today and got on our live to make sure that people understood that, look, there are people that care here. So, Joe, like, man, your argument may have some validity, but we got to stop and we got to talk facts.
Agreed.
I want to know why is he laughing when you guys said that? Like, I want to know why are you laughing?
Baby. They put a camera on your face and you did this, and it made me laugh. Relax.
You were laughing prior to that. But my question is that if I looked at you and just laughed at you,
yeah,
that's rude. You know, maybe our definition of what rude is two very different things. I think that how can we have conversations and get somewhere and move to a better place, a better understanding, if we are going to have that type of attitude? Like, we have minorities. You are a minority. I am a minority. And now we're against each other, and you simply don't like me because of the fact that I'm the police.
I do. Why would you say I don't like you? Why would you?
Joe, I think it's your generalizations are very hard to take and internalize.
I want to respond to her because she has been commenting, and so she wants a little. Well, she wants a little attention. One, she said something. If you want the job, if you're scared. I believe her name is Sashay. If I pronounced it wrong, it is not intentional. Sashay, I grew up in the hood, in the heart of the Twilight Zone, okay? I live in the hood. I've never been scared a day in my life, sweetheart. It has nothing to do with me carrying a badge or a gun, because I could go into the hood all day, every day without it. I've never been scared, boo. Never.
Very good.
Cops killed an insane. You know what cops did? They killed a homicidal girl.
Period.
Pumped up on adrenaline, going to kill another black life. So y'all can miss me with the bullshit. Like, miss me, bro. Miss me.
The girl was stabbing the other girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't go to that. I go to every protest, and when they threw that one in front of my face, I watched the vid. I say, "Oh no! If that was my daughter, he just saved her life." Fuck that.
Thank you.
Hold on. So Joe, that's an important point, right? Like this is such a beautifully important point. The police are of the utmost importance when we need them, when they're inconvenient because we're getting a damn ticket and they come in our car and we got drugs and yeah, well then it's a problem for sure, 100%. But if you're a reasonable person, you take the time to show respect, you're going to get respect. These are fundamental principles. Now you could talk about all this other stuff, but we've had a chief of police in Minneapolis come on here tonight. We've had Shelly on tonight, who's a police officer. We aren't dealing with just regular folks anymore. We're dealing with the people, all of them. So let's get back to that fact is we now have 2 police officers who are rebutting what you're saying, who know the ranks, who know the people they work with. And they're saying, yeah, there's a narrative out there, which we all agree exists. And Joe, you're on it, man. You are lockstep and key with this narrative of the police are the problem. Well, if criminals didn't do the crimes, then the police don't have to be in that area as often. You get less police presence, you get less interactions, you have less of this stuff as a general sum.
I'm a fan of Martin Luther King, right? Who quoted when he said, "An unjust law is no law at all." I'm a fan of that, right? He said you must be prepared to break that law and go to jail with your head held high. Now
he said, "Go to jail." That is an important part to remember. Not resist the police, not throw a fit in the streets, not be angry, not be ignorant. Right?
Shit, bro.
We gotta run.
Oh shit.
We gotta do things the right way. That's all.
I'd like to really quick. I heard you guys mention stats earlier, and I don't know what you guys stated. I know that you asked Joe somebody asked, you can't relate to Black people. Boo. Sunni is Black, in case you didn't realize it. My best friends are Black. This is the problem. This is the problem with minorities, is that right away you want to attack other minorities. And I'm not talking about, the comment. I'm not talking to you. I'm saying we are 3 people of color, and then your name is Eric, right? I'm sorry. Is your name Eric?
Yes, thank you, Charlie. It's good to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you as well. And then Eric's on here. But Sashay, you are what's wrong with minorities. You are exactly what's wrong with minorities.
So I'll just say this to Shay is in the comments, right? It's easy to say this, but Shay, you were on here. You had the chance to engage with us. All I asked to do was to specifically try and understand your point of view. The problem is the facts got in the way, and that's all that's happened here tonight is facts get in the way.
Okay, I was talking real quick about. I'm not going to listen to Shay anymore because obviously she doesn't have a brain cell. Woo! But Joe, I wanted to give you stats and just maybe look it up. Yeah. I want you to look into it, okay? So in America, we're going to speak about just America. Yeah. The population of Blacks are about 13.5%, give or take, right? Give a little leeway, right? Yeah. So there are 390 billion people. Something like that. Is that right? Like 386
million.
Billion, not in America.
Million with an M. Million.
Right. Okay. Million. 386 million people in America. So Blacks make up about 13.5% of that, give or take, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Now, if you look at the numbers of Blacks killed by the police, okay, and you look at the number of police officers killed in the line of duty, the police make up 0.25% of the American population.
Yeah.
0.25%.
Yeah.
And police officers are more likely 20%. Last summer was like 18.5, 18.9. It's gone up over 20% now. Yeah. More likely to get killed by a Black person than any other race. That's not including Latinos and whites and anyone else who's committing crimes against police officers.
Yeah. Well,
so does that number make you stop and think like, wait a second?
Yeah, it makes me think that police need to lay off of my ass, lay off of my black ass. Blacks are
shit.
Than
Blacks
white,
are what?
3 times more likely than white people to
Why?
be and killed by police.
That's not true. That's not true.
That up yesterday. It is absolutely true.
That
It
is not true.
forces.
You are looking. You what?
Yeah, I'll show you the
I
pictures.
don't want to see pictures. I don't need pictures. I want it from the top of your head because you know it so well. What paper are you getting that from?
I said 3 times. You don't want it from the top of my head.
It is not 3 times. It is not 3 times. I can tell you. I look at it.
We're trying to look at the damn picture.
It is not. See, now you want to curse.
Be nice. I said, damn, I usually curse a lot. I've been good today.
I curse a lot too in conversation, but I'm trying to be respectful.
Ain't you gonna laughing every time I laugh?
Shelly, go ahead, Shelly, man. I'm trying. I'm trying.
Highlight her comments anymore because I'm not gonna listen. You don't got so in her head. It has nothing to do with being a person of color.
Hey, I'm curious.
You just don't got a brain cell.
I like a serious.
I'm sorry.
I like a serious.
I can't hear you.
To this. Hold on. Maybe I'm breaking up. I know you are. I like a serious answer to this.
Answer to what?
To this question. Why is it that you guys are not out protesting at liquor stores and 7-Elevens and all of that where they sell alcohol and cigarettes, but they are responsible for more deaths than all other illicit drugs combined? I'm curious.
Okay. Let me ask you. Okay. You know what? I don't protest at all because I don't believe in it, period. I don't protest. I do things about it. I don't go out there and protest and have my voice fall on deaf ears. I'm not doing that. That's just never for me.
Very good.
I'm not gonna do it.
Good girl.
Now, next, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many people are cited or arrested for drinking in public or drinking while driving drunk?
I don't have statistics.
I could tell you one thing. It's more people that are ever arrested for doing drugs.
Yes, more people do alcohol.
Correct. So when you're saying how come we're not protesting liquor stores, guess what? There are more people going to jail for open liquor, drinking on a public way, driving while intoxicated, etc., than there are people doing drugs. Because if I respond to somebody who's doing drugs, right? They took drugs. You know what? I call an ambulance. They shoot them up with Narcan. They don't get arrested. They don't get a ticket. They don't get nothing.
I'm curious.
But if I have the neighborhood guy with his bottle, his ass is getting a ticket.
My point was, and you got to bear with me for a second, I might not express it well. My point was that you are blind because you see the difference between the liquor store owner and the guy selling drugs on the corner. Because Spanish, please, I ask you to be patient. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Or you see a difference between the guy who's the pharmaceutical guy who's pushing drugs, getting people stuck on that stuff, and the guy on the corner who's pushing it. The fact that you see those as different, tell me that you've bought in to the beliefs and follow those.
And again, there you go, making assumptions about me when you know nothing about me.
Oh,
you're listening to respond. I was responding to your question of protest. That's the only reason I brought it up. I never said I saw them as the same. I never said that. You are putting words into my mouth, and this is why we are having issues not learning to communicate with one another, because you take my words and you twist them to convenient your narrative instead of hearing me out when I'm telling you I'm here doing it. I've never been a drug dealer. I've never done drugs in my life. I don't protest. If I wanted to be the change, I put my money where my mouth is, and I took this job.
Okay, baby.
And I'm out here giving back to my people, to people of color. I'm out here doing it every day so that they could have a little bit of what, when they look at me, they can see a little looking, they're looking into a mirror.
Right.
But
so can I ask you?
You're just sitting here and you want to talk about, oh, well, you're not protesting a liquor store. First of all, I never said that I agree with any of it. What I was trying to prove to you was people who drink liquor are getting arrested and ticketed at a rate way higher than someone who's out there doing drugs. That was my point.
We left your point, and I made one of my own. I was
No,
talking.
you left my point because you wanted to divert. You wanted to do something else.
I was talking to the entire panel when I said, I think that you guys have been blinded by the government, the law, the system, whatever you want to call it, when you fail to see the difference between the drug dealer on the corner, the liquor store guy, and the large corporations. That was not a point.
Can I just?
Anything. Yes, of course.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to say none of us have made that assumption. We do see that there is fundamentally at the bottom of the funnel no difference. At the end of the day, people are getting high, they're getting drunk. It all ends in the same place.
Like you,
we can all agree on that. Where we have to be pragmatic again is against the law, right? Which is where the facts and details matter, right? So if you're going to sell illegal drugs, then you got to do you got to deal with the illegal consequences of that, right? So there is a fundamental difference. If we want drugs legalized, like we have here in California, we have legal weed. You guys, I think, got it out there in Chicago just recently. It's important to know that people are willing to change their minds, but if we have to recognize the funnel all leads to the same place, and that's okay. We can fundamentally agree to disagree about the semantics of how that works out and plays out on the street corner.
In agreement,
but Joe, let's talk about what we do have in common, right? We want to see our country better, right? We want to see the police. We want to see the police and the civilians responding, acting in accordance with each other and in congruence to proper results, right?
Yes.
So if we have common ground, why are we sitting here talking about what we don't have in common? Because my brother, like, this is where it gets to brass tacks. We could talk about everything we disagree about until the cows come home, for sure. All of us could do that for forever. But what we agree upon is so much more important. And we all agree that the best way we can move forward right now is to ditch a lot of this race baiting crap. It's to ditch these bad thought processes around, oh man, the police are inherently bad because they got a job to do. We all have a job to do. I got a job to do. Suni got a job to do. Chelly got a job to do. At the end of the day, when we find that common ground, we have to run on that, not the disagreement. And that's where I think right now, Joe, you and Chelly, you're not seeing eye to eye because Joe, you keep coming back to Chelly, and Joe's coming back to you, and it becomes what we don't see in common. We got to go back to common ground here.
Eric,
here,
God.
Let me sum it up because I'm leaving. The bottom line is, too many of our homes are headed by single moms. Okay, too many of our homes don't have fathers. Obama said it. Those results yield to the statistics that we're looking at.
Good girl.
You're more likely to go to jail, commit a crime, become a teen parent, have behavioral problems. Okay, so we need to deal with what's wrong at the core, and it ain't cops.
Very good.
I don't care what anybody says. Shay, you're a coward. You had the opportunity to come on here, speak your piece. You decided to leave. Feelings, the world don't give a fuck about how you feel.
No feelings, baby.
I don't care about how you feel. I'm tired of seeing young black men dead in the street because of other young black men. So stop with the police. We need to do this with the police. The police. The police don't murder us the way we murder us. We murder our children before they're even born. Use it as a birth control tactic. Miss me, bro. Miss me. Until we can have these conversations about why our schools are still shit, about why fathers still aren't in the home, about why our kids can't read, why they're suffering from PTSD, trauma, all this stuff starts at home. It don't have nothing to do with a police officer. And I'm sick and tired of black folks ignoring the problem. I'm tired of it.
Sony, I'm going to jump off and make sure that I subbed you. If someone put the other guy's channel in here, I'll sub them. And next time I come back, I want to do what Eric suggested and talk about more about what we have in common and what we have.
Sure, we can do that.
It was a pleasure, guys. I'm so glad I hopped in here today.
Thank you. I'm sick. I'm so sick of black folks, man. And I'm not talking about all of them. And for you to say I can't relate to black people, you're the fucking problem. It's people like you that make it impossible to relate because you don't want to sit here and listen to facts. So, since we're doing this, and I feel like this is a great way to end the show, you said a lot of things. Tiffany, too. Her comment is that all cops treat minorities a certain way. Bullshit. I'm not falling for false narratives anymore. I'm not being nice no more. We've done that for far too long. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group. They don't give a shit about black people. They never did, because we're still killing our own. It's funny how all the black murder victims, especially in Chicago, Black Lives Matter won't even reach out to them, but they can take 100 mil from white folks and not even put it back into their own community. Bullshit, bro. Black people that do this shit, you're a part of the problem. You're the race hustlers. You're all of it. You are the sellouts. You are the coons, the bed wenches, all of it, because you ignore the problem. And this is exactly how you sounded. Goodbye. I can't do this anymore. Thank you for everybody that came on. I would like to continue this conversation. There's another great ass cop. I would love to continue this conversation.
Who said it? Hold on.
Thank you for those words of encouragement, because you just said everything that my mind had in it. So
y'all are great. We really appreciate you. Thank you for what you.
Thank you. Seriously.
Thank you.
I can't. You can find me on Hot Mike Suni. I'm not on Facebook right now because I'm banned for 30 days, but I have a bigger audience tomorrow on Mata. And everybody that was on here, I want you to come on to Mata, because we need to make America think again. I'm tired of feelings. I don't give a shit about your feelings, bro. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? Chelly don't care. Chelly wants to go home at the end of the day. And if you act in a plum fool, guess what? You're going to get dealt with like it. And you know what else white people do well? When Johnny fights the police and Johnny gets that work, you know what they do? Damn, Johnny, you should have never been doing that. Dang. They don't say, oh, Black Lives Matter. Do you guys have anything to close out with?
Yes. I want to say that people should get to know people before they judge them, because that dude just came at me hot. Like, I was trying to catch up, I didn't hear anything. Like, he just came at me hot. He like made all these assumptions, and I'm like, wait a second, like, you know nothing about me. Like, I'm literally a girl from the hood. Like, I had a baby at 16, I had a baby at 19. Like, but I decided not to stay in that realm of that typical cycle that we do to ourselves. And I decided to do something. I saw certain things I didn't like, so I decided to do something about it. And I'm literally out here every day for 24 years giving all of me, everything that I got. I have never hit anybody who hasn't hit me. I have never mother effed anybody who hasn't mother effed me. I have never just attacked people. I've never gone out there and just went crazy. Like all these things that people say, I'm like, look, if you're in Chicago, hit me up. Do a ride along with me. See what I go through in a day. See who I am to people. I wish that they recorded all of that. Like, I wish they put all that out there so that people can see what's really going on. Instead, you get those little video clips, and of course, it always starts once the police are going ham on somebody. It never tells you what led up to it. But I'm like, come on, man, you're trying to sit here and tell me that I can't talk or I can't say nothing because I'm being ostracized. Hey, anybody who knows me, go ask anybody whoever has met me in Chicago. I don't give a shit about what anybody says. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And guess what? I'm always about doing the right thing, period.
Absolutely. What you got for us?
I'll just say this as Suni, thank you for having me on tonight. I appreciate it. I think hopefully you guys will see a lot more of me kind of around the bend here. You guys see me in the comments. I'm a no nonsense dude. I know what it is, and I know where we're headed if we don't get a control of it. So we're gonna link up and we're gonna do some things. I think with the Primetime Patriots, Be the Change movement, all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep rocking on all that. I just want to say to everybody that's jumped into tonight's live, thank you for participating. We had a great event today that went really well. We were able to blow the ceiling on our 5K donation for our two groups. So I'm really proud of that, and and all the help everybody was able to give to us. But you know, we gotta get back to sense in this country, guys. We got to get back to the real conversation. And as you see tonight, you know, a lot of people have feelings, and that's okay to acknowledge those feelings. But at the end of the day, we got to have some facts in the conversation too. Otherwise, we're all going to be confused for forever. So, you know, the more we can do that, the more we can find that common ground that I was talking with Joe about, the better off we'll all be. So let's strive for that. I know there's some people in the comments that came on tonight that wanted to kind of push the narrative in a different direction. That's okay. You guys are entitled to your opinion, but that doesn't mean you're right. And at some point, you know, people like myself, Chelly, you know, Suni, Casey, Anthony, all of these people, we're going to stand up because, you know, you've been telling us to sit down, and that's okay. I don't have a problem taking a seat to let you shine. But at some point, you know, the light is bright enough for all of us. And I'll just bring that in and say that, you know, we can all be here and embrace this as brothers and sisters. You know, whether you believe in God or not, I do. But you know, it's important to realize that change starts at home, starts in the heart, then with your neighbor, and then in your city, and then with your, you know, and then with your state, and then the federal government. And right now, we're on the do it at home level. And I just want to encourage everybody who's felt like they can't get in front of the camera, express their opinion. I felt that way for the last 6 months as I've been an active participant. Get out there, speak up. What you say matters. You may not be right. You might get corrected. But at the end of the day, your opinion is a part of the equation that we all have to use in order to get to the answer. So bring it in, and let's see more active support. Let's do it, guys.
Let's do it. And for the people that came on here just spewing nonsense, okay, I wouldn't be me if I didn't poke a little fun. So I'm going to end the show with a very funny video because I want you to come back to the stream with facts. Because like I said, I don't care about your feelings, and neither does the world. And thank you, everybody, for hopping on here. I appreciate it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.